First fight of the night. Professional debut for Dalton Rasta, much taller, and he will have the reach advantage. And look at the weight for Cody Vital, just 195.5.
Well, you know, he didn't have to cut anything. That sometimes is a very good thing, but that reach advantage, and with the boxing ability of Rasta, he's going to have to do something as far as cutting angles and getting inside.
As always, our official introductions come from the voice, Michael C. Williams.
From Pechanga Resort Casino, we officially welcome those joining us tonight for the Bellator 219 prelims live on the Bellator MMA Global app as we get the action underway now with 3 5-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 5'9", weighing in 195.4 pounds. His professional record 1-1, fighting out of Temecula, California, Cody Vital. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 6 foot, weighing in 204.8 pounds, making his professional debut. He fights out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Dalton Rasta. In charge of the action, your referee, James Beers.
So James Beers is our referee as we get things started here inside the Pechanga Resort Casino. Rasta and Vital. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Fight, you ready? Fight, you ready?
Fight! Here we go. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Rasta in the red gloves, aggressive early. Cody Vital in the blue gloves.
Nice little clash of heads there, Josh. You know something about that with me.
Just rubbing it in.
But you look, Rasta, he's got very good wrestling, but he believes in his stand-up. He believes that he has heavy hands, that he can put anybody away. In every amateur fight he's had, Mike, he has ended by KO or TKO.
What I like so far from Rasta is the composure. He's not trying to overdo things. He knows he's the bigger guy. He's looking to press the action, but he's not overcommitting on things. He's taking his time, setting up his shots. That's not something you see from young fighters.
And it's a very important thing you're seeing. He's still a little bit of head movement, good feints inside, setting up his shots.
Beautiful leg kick there.
Some of Rasta's teammates, Dominic Mazzata, you know well. Dominic Mazzata, Chris Dempsey. Good set of fights. He reckons this might be it. It is all over, just like that. Dalton Rasta with the finish in his professional debut.
Vital's leg just buckles from underneath it, just as he's trying to duck down to avoid that shot. Puts pressure on the knee, it gives. You see him going down. Looks like he tore an MCL to me that's inside that leg. You see him immediately grabbing his knee, covers up to take shots, but that fight was over from the point that he went down.
You could watch the knee kind of shift a little bit as he started to push off on that back leg. Oh, that was nasty.
Unfortunate, obviously, for Cody Vital, as the knee went in the wrong direction. Congratulations to Dalton Rasta. Perhaps we will see this matchup again somewhere down the road, Josh. You get those takedown opportunities and you get the grappling and the clinch situations. Sometimes the body goes one way and the leg goes the other.
Yeah, we've seen this before, though, in some other high-profile fights where guys have it just by pushing off. Sometimes when it's time for the knee to go, it goes.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do in these situations.
Disappointment for Vital, and Rasta will get his arm raised and to make it official, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the verbal tap comes by way of an injury officially, a TKO officially at 106, round number 1, the winner, Dalton Rasta.
Dalton Rasta, 1-0 in Bellator, 1-0 as a pro, and for the first time, he will visit with Big John McCarthy right after a moment of class, respect, and prayer with his opponent, Cody Vital.
but I've been trying this for long enough. I've seen many injuries. This kid taught me a lot of myself. But I think fucking this
I'm here with your winner, Dalton Rasta. You came into this with a pro debut fight. How much pressure were you feeling coming to this cage for the first time?
A lot of pressure. I've never fought first before. I've had a long wrestling career. I boxed as an amateur, fought MMA. I never competed first before everybody to set the tone. And that was something different today. And I think I overcame it.
I thought you looked fantastic. Oh, obviously, he went down, stepping back with a knee injury, but it was the feints that you were setting him up with and the hands that you, as a 6-0 amateur boxer, and that you're 7-0 as an amateur in MMA, and you came in here and showed everyone exactly what you're made of as far as your hands.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for everybody that came out. It's a great fight. Thank you to Cody for taking the fight. And thank you to my coaches, Isaac from the Mat Factory, Sam, and Christos. I couldn't be here without them. They make me who I am.
Well, I want to tell you, congratulations on winning that pro debut. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Dalton Rasta.
Our tail of the tape for this welterweight matchup.
4-0 for Joey Davis. Marcus Anthony coming in off a very recent victory at 1-0. And it's that old saying, Mike, someone's O has got to go.
It certainly does. Here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight here at Pechanga Resort Casino, the Bellator 219 prelims continue now with 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing the blue corner first. At 5'11", weighing in 169.4 pounds. His professional record early on stands at 1-0 by way of Detroit. He fights out of San Diego, California, Marcus Explosion Anthony. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 169.4 pounds. He's undefeated as a professional. 4 victories without a defeat. He fights out of Compton, California, Joey Black Eyes Davis. And your referee in charge of the action, James Beers.
James Beers, once again our referee. Welterweight matchup. 4-0 Joey Davis against 1-0 Marcus Anthony, Explosion, making his Bellator debut.
Fighter ready. Fighter ready. Fight.
We are underway. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Red gloves for Joey Davis, blue gloves for Marcus Anthony. Little switch stance early, Josh, by Marcus Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony needs to keep the range a little bit, not trying to just rush in like that, because obviously Joey Davis has the wrestling to get him down anytime he wants this fight to get to the ground.
That's the key factor for Joey. Joey wants to be in the stand-up because he is always trying to improve his game and improve his stand-up and be more confident in what he does, but he always has that in the back of the mind. When I want to take it to the ground, I know I can put him there.
My only concern with that is that as young fighters that are 4-0, they start getting addicted to the stand-up, and they forget about their roots. And that's something that he cannot afford to do, given that his pedigree with wrestling is so good. You cannot get away from that.
I totally agree with everything you're saying there. And it's guys, they start to get enamored because the knockout is so cool. It seems so easy when it happens. And he's had those fast knockouts. He's had them through kicks. He's had them with his hands. And so you've got to always remember what brought you to the party, and it is his wrestling that got him there. There you go.
There it is. Change of levels. Shoots in. Trying to complete the takedown here. 90 seconds into the fight.
When you were talking about the stand-up and how he's progressing in that, my concern is you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and you got to be careful of that. I love the fact that he's really mixing up. He did a little bit of the flashy stuff to begin with, worked his way in on the double leg, got the takedown, and then also just putting him back down. That's another thing. Letting him get up, taking him back down. That is honestly one of the most frustrating things when you're fighting somebody.
It is so difficult. It's so hard for people to understand that sometimes a guy will actually let you. Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's big into, I'm going to take you down, I'm going to kind of let you up, just so I can prove to you I can bring you right back down and make you work harder than you want to work in getting up, and then you're right back in the same
spot. The legend,
spot.
Randy Couture.
Yep.
Like he wouldn't let you up, but as you got up, he was taking you right back down. I've seen him break countless people doing that.
He embraced the grind. They always talk about with these great wrestlers, Joey Davis being one of them.
I like what Joey's doing here, how he has the wrist control. He's trying to feed it from one side to the other behind the back.
Trying to lace it behind the back there.
Very
That's
nice.
a good way to open up, and it makes Marcus have to reach over with his other hand to block any punches.
So this has always been one of my biggest concerns with wrestlers is they know how to ride from the wrestling positions, but they don't know how to put their hooks in, or they don't want to put their hooks in. They don't feel comfortable doing that. They've been wrestling their whole life, and they ride them from the side position to land strikes, but they don't know how to control the jiu-jitsu position.
So why do they not feel comfortable for a while, Josh?
I really couldn't tell you. I trained with one of the best, Daniel Cormier, and I've trained with other guys that are top wrestlers, Mike Van Arsdale. They never wanted to put their hooks in. No.
I can tell you one of the real reasons for it is by putting hooks in, especially in MMA, you can end up, you still have your opponent's back, but your back is to the ground. It's to the canvas, and they are so accustomed to being in the top of the position that they just don't want to be where they have their back to the canvas.
Wrestlers do not like being on their back.
Beautiful spinning heel kick there. Caught him just a little bit on Anthony on the chin.
90 seconds, round one. 4-0 Joey Davis, 1-0 Marcus Anthony.
You can see Marcus Anthony's getting a little bit tired here. His arms are getting a little heavy, and that's from, look at grappling. One of the things it's going to do, it is going to make you expend energy, and when you're having to push hard against a guy that technically is superior to you, those arms can get heavy very fast.
A little bit of an adrenaline dump as well, partner. This being his first time under the bright lights and against one of the most highly touted prospects in the game right now in Joey Davis. Joey looks very calm, very in control right now.
Well, that's because everything is going the way he wants it to. He's the one controlling the pace, the position, the location of the fight, everything right now. But never ever think that you should play with an opponent. You should always be looking forward, just like that.
There you go. Big shot. Hit is all over. Another knockout finish for Joey Davis. Still found something in that well, didn't he?
You know, you look, and this is what we're talking. When Josh and I are talking, we're saying, get a guy that gets all of a sudden used to those big shots. They like it. Look at the left hand, and then here comes the big right hand over the top. That left hand of Marcus is down, right on the button. Boom! Puts him down, and you see he just starts to wake up as he's falling, and that hand starts to go out, but not enough for the referee to say, I'm going to let you take any more. Big right hand, puts him down. Watch him go stiff. Boom. Look at the look at the arms. All of a sudden, then the arm comes out. That's telling you his brain's starting to reconnect. Too late. Joey coming in with that right hand. Good stop. Beautiful win.
What made that combination work was the fact that he was able to lift Anthony's chin up with the jab, and then he was able to come over the top with the overhand right. That wouldn't have worked had he not been able to get Anthony to look to the lights at the ceiling. That right hand wouldn't have landed, and that was beautiful work by Joey Davis.
Joey Davis had the knockout with a spinning back kick against Ian Butler, and now the over-the-top right hand finishes the night of Marcus Anthony quickly. And you see A.J. McKee talking to his teammate. A.J. McKee, Aaron Pico, Baby Slice. I mean, you look at the guys at Team Body Shop, and really, Josh, you're looking at the future of mixed martial arts.
It all starts with the head coach, though, Antonio McKee.
Yep.
It all starts with him, and I'm telling you right now, he was somebody that never got the respect he deserved in the sport of MMA. And the fact that he's got just a stable of just young killers is awesome to see, because I actually truly admire the things that he's doing with them. He's getting these young guys to dial it down and focus on defining their craft, and I'm so happy for him.
Congratulations to Joey Davis, Michael C. Williams to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end suddenly. 4 minutes, 21 seconds. Round number one, the winner by knockout, still undefeated, Joey Black Eyes Davis.
Third career win by knockout. All three have come in round number one for Joey Davis. Here's Big John.
Congratulations, my friend. That was a beautiful right hand that just touched him right on the chin, put him out. He was stiff going down, just started to wake up, he's hit the ground, and you're coming after him. 5-0 inside this Bellator cage. What is it that you want next?
Just keep working hard and progressing. I just want to thank my coaches. I want to thank my family for putting me here on this earth. And but what's next is just keep progressing. I got a lot to work on as my last fight. I didn't look the way I wanted to look, but I'm just blessed tonight that I got the W.
Your wrestling, when you took him down and then you control position, that seemed to be what started to set up his hands starting to come down. As you started to come in with your feints, his hands started dropping down. Did you see all of that happening in front of you?
Absolutely, Big John. I know that I didn't want to take him down too early in the beginning because I knew I would have gave away some of my tips. But as I got the takedown, I knew it would easily wear him down a little bit, and I just wanted to work my movement, and land what I can land.
Well, if given an opportunity at 5-0, who is it that you want to take on next in this cage?
No one. No one. I still got, just get better. I'm not going to call out anyone right now at 5-0. But I will be a dominant force in Bellator. I will be hard to reckon with. And I can't wait till that day comes.
Well, I can't wait till that day comes too. I love the attitude. I love the work ethic. Congratulations on a beautiful performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Joey Davis.
Our tale of the tape for this matchup, here live from Pechanga. Bantamweight fight. 8 wins in the career of Bunch, 14 in the career of Mazada.
You know, I look at Bunch, he's in his second part of his career because he came in as a straight wrestler. He is now a guy that's got good hands, utilizing the wrestling, had a great win against Joe Warren, but he is facing a monster in Dominic Mazada.
Michael, go ahead.
You're going to say that, but Sean Bunch, though, the speed and the able to create the angles and how fast he is on the double legs, I think he's going to have a great chance of getting this win tonight.
Michael C. Williams with the official introductions.
From Pechanga Resort Casino, we welcome you back now to the Bellator MMA Global app for the post-slims here at Bellator 219, beginning with bantamweight, set for 3 5-minute rounds, and introducing the blue corner. At 5'7", weighing in 136 pounds even, his professional record, 14 wins, 2 losses from Lower Borough, Pennsylvania, presenting Dominic the Honey Badger Mazada.
Let's go!
And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner. At 5'5", weighing in 135.2 pounds as a professional. 8 wins, 3 defeats, fighting out of San Jose, California. Introducing Sean Bunch the Great. In charge of the action, your referee, Frank Trigg.
Frank Trigg, our referee.
Good. Jackie, good. Mike.
Bantamweight battle, Sean Bunch and Dominic Mazada.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
Here we go. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Sean Bunch out of San Jose, California. In the red gloves, Dominic Mazada. The Pennsylvania kid in the blue gloves.
This right here is a great weight class at bantamweight for both of these guys. Mazada started out as a featherweight and was fighting guys that were a lot bigger than him when it came to fight day. Now at 135, you're seeing he's the same size, and he is a very tough, that's why they call him the Honey Badger. He's a very tough and durable fighter.
What we saw with Joe Warren, he couldn't handle a bunch of speed. And it's just, he's so fast, so explosive. Oh, big shot though, over overhand right. The wrestling's there. I think the concern is that, like, doing things like that, rushing in when he doesn't need to. He needs to create a little bit of an angle, throw the punch or the combination, and then go in for the takedown.
Well, we know that Bunch, he's got an incredible, wrestling background, All-America Edinburgh. He's got the wrestling. And at the beginning of his career, that's all he was doing. He was out trying to out-wrestle guys instead of fighting as an MMA fighter. And what we're seeing now is he is now starting to fight like an MMA fighter. He's opening up good opportunities to punch on the ground. This is the difference. Now he's punching when he used to just always control.
And I can tell you, I speak from experience. I've trained with him, and I train with him quite a bit. As the fight goes on, it's going to get harder and harder for Mazada to actually control Sean Bunch.
8th Bellator fight for Sean Bunch. 5 wins inside the Bellator cage. His last victory was a first-round TKO finish of Joe Warren.
That fight against Joe Warren, Bunch showed exactly what he is capable of in an MMA fight, because look at Joe Warren has been a multiple-time world champion, and he just overwhelmed Joe Warren, hit him with shots. I honestly believe he broke his jaw in that fight. And you look at what Bunch did, that is the guy that we need to see from now on.
And for Dominic Mazzata, winner of 11 of his last 12 fights, his only loss was by knockout to A.J. McKee in his Bellator debut, a fight at 145. So this is a great matchup to start our post-limb coverage with. Red gloves for Bunch, blue gloves for Mazzata on bottom. AKA San Jose, California, the home of Sean Bunch, the Mat Factory, and some time in South Florida at Hard Knocks 365 for Dominic Mazzata.
You see Bunch, every time that Bunch clears that head and gets a little bit of space for posture, he's bringing a shot down on Dominic. That's exactly what he needs to do throughout this fight to be successful. He does that, he's going to walk out of here a winner.
He didn't do that a lot when he first started, like you were talking about earlier. His progression, though, on how he actually opened up on the ground and pound. Before, when he would wrestle, he would just waste all his energy squeezing and holding, not realizing that he should have realized it was a 15-minute fight. You know, it's not a 6-minute wrestle.
There are no pins.
Yeah, once you're down on the back, oh look, his back is on the ground. Match is over. It doesn't work that way. So, but what I can tell you though is he's actually learned more of the jiu-jitsu game. Not as if he's going to hit the submissions, but on defending every position from the submission position.
Look at what he's doing. Look at the posture he's creating. Head is high. Now, Mazzata doing a good job of utilizing his legs there to try to spin through, but Bunch is having nothing of it. He's the guy in control of these positions.
Both of these guys come from strong teams. They're very well trained. They have impressive records. This is a big fight, John, as you pointed out earlier in the week, for both of these men. Bunch coming off that win over Joe Warren, and now perhaps facing the second best fighter of his professional career.
I think it's a huge fight for both guys, because Sean's coming off of that victory we're talking about with Joe Warren, and Dominic is coming off a unanimous decision win over UFC veteran Josh Sampo. And in both these guys, they both have the ability in a very short time to get into title contention in the bantamweight division.
I mean, Mazzata was on a 9-fight win streak when he fought A.J. McKee outside of his natural bantamweight weight class at 145. Back to Bellator 178, Josh.
Well, you're talking about the most dynamic fighter. He lost to probably, I think we're going to see come out of Bellator in the future. And only the future will tell us that. But I'm simply saying A.J. McKee's a future star. It is a star now. I mean, the fact that he lost to him, to me, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm sure it affects him, but honestly, no blemish.
There's 12 other guys on that list, is what you're saying.
No.
So
he lunges in here, right here, and then Mazzata comes over the top. Boom, big overhand right. Now, luckily his head was down enough where Sean Bunch was able to grab and get the front headlock position, and then Mazzata pulled guard from there.
And he was not able to create that fist turning over. If he had turned over, that lands with a lot more power.
Yes.
Round 2. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Sean Bunch in the red gloves. Dominic Mazzata, the Honey Badger, in the blue gloves. He will switch his stance back and forth.
As he just did.
Yes, indeed. Sean Bunch, orthodox, but he wrestles left foot forward. That comes from his soccer background.
You know, one of the things you're just seeing out of Mazzata right there, he went for that knee tap takedown, and I don't even think that he believes he's going to land that, but I do believe he wants Bunch to have to think about it. And in thinking about it, it will stop some of the progression of what Sean Bunch thinks.
But what he did, though, is he shot it on the, or he's reaching for the knee, or he just shot right now. But what he's doing, though, is he's coming over with that overhand right.
Yep.
What Bunch is, he's so fast, so quick with his takedown defense as well as his shots. But what he does, he drops his hands at that down block position. And when that happens, that's what opens up that overhand right.
When asked by our researcher, Corey Brady, anything else fans should know, he said, yes, I'm the fastest man on the planet.
Did he just say man, or was there other words in there?
No, maybe I edited when I wrote it down, but that's what it says.
Well, you know, and it's true. Look at Mazzotta is not a slow fighter, but against Bunch, you look at their movement and you go, wow, he's slow. He's not. It's just that Bunch is that fast.
Mazzotta, born in Pittsburgh, grew up in North Kensington. Eddie Alvarez.
Like I was telling you earlier, the first round would be a lot easier for Mazzotta to get the submission, but from now on, Bunch, I've trained with him multiple times. As he gets sweaty, it's almost impossible to catch him in submissions.
Two-time All-American wrestler from Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania, placed second and third, graduated in 2006. Very small school in the middle of nowhere that who had an outstanding wrestling program. Josh Koscheck, Chris Honeycutt come to mind, but Sean Bunch's guy's King Mo. Lived with King Mo in Colorado Springs. Obviously close with you, Josh, and Daniel Cormier. Made the Olympic world team. Was at the Olympic Training Center for a year and a half. His credentials when it comes to wrestling are very, very real.
I love what I see out of Bunch as far as his arm position. He always used to overextend his arms, Josh, get his arms out or put his hands to the ground, and that would cause him a problem, and he's not doing any of those things now.
You know what the common mistake for wrestlers, right, when they first get in MMA is they posture up and try and drive all their weight into you. But the problem is you're holding your own body weight up the whole fight, and then next thing you know, you're tired and gassed out. So you're expending energy when you don't need to. Sean's remedied that position. You saw that a lot back in the day with Mike Van Arsdale. He would waste energy in positions he didn't need to. Sean's learned not to do that now. I would like to see him start opening up with a little bit more strikes, but Mazzotta's got a pretty active guard.
He's got a good guard, and right now he's holding that guard in position, but I believe Bunch feels comfortable where he's at. It's when he brings his head up, he's doing well. When he brings his head down, he's starting to have a little bit of problems as far as what Mazzotta brings, but not a good knee bar attempt where you're at, and it's not going to be anything unless he can hook that leg. Nice job by Bunchy to get out.
90 seconds on the clock here in round two. Mazzotta 14-2. We talked about the loss in the Bellator cage to AJ McKee. His only other setback was back in March of 2014 to Cody Garbrandt. Second round TKO for Garbrandt.
Come on, work the face, have to stand you up.
So you're looking at your losses against Cody Garbrandt and AJ McKee.
That is kind of my point.
You're doing okay.
Stop.
Kind of my point.
Let's go. Come on.
Don't forget, two titles will be on the line
go, come on,
when the
come on,
Bellator
let's go.
cage returns to San Jose. Welterweight champion Roy McDonald faces John Fitch in the final fight of the opening round of the Welterweight World Grand Prix. Plus, Alimale McFarland looks to defend her flyweight title for the third time, which she battles Vita Arteaga. That's Saturday, April 27th, exclusively on DAZN.
Sometimes you'll watch a fighter and they'll do something and they'll do it again and again, and you go, why are you going back to something that you have been unsuccessful with? And you see Mazzotta trying to go and shoot that takedown against a guy that, look at, he's just got a better wrestling pedigree than you have, and it's going to be very, very slight in the fact if you are able to get that takedown against that guy.
I kind of think that on the feet, he feels like the speed is a little bit too much. It's making him flinch, it's making him react. He's wasting energy in that position. He doesn't want to get hit with a clean shot.
Nice.
Oh, big
Trying to go for that choke right now.
But was that kick enough to win the round?
Absolutely not. Bunch wins that round. Mazzotta has got to figure out, what do I need to do to change the course of this fight? Because right now, I believe he's down 2 rounds to none, and he's going to have to either pull out a dominant round to bring it into a draw or get that submission or knockout to take the win.
John, I would have to agree with you.
You don't have to, but you know. In this case, you will. Big swing and a miss for the Honey Badger. And I think he knows that sense of urgency, John and Josh, that you guys just referred to. You can see on the scorecard, Big John, 10-9, 10-9.
Yeah, I just heard his corner say right before at the very end, the tail end of him breaking, saying that you need to get the submission or get the finish. So maybe that lit a fire under his butt for him to start coming out there and get after it.
Mazzotta looking for the head kick. stepped into it, no switch there.
This has always been my concern a little bit with Sean Bunch. He gets a little complacent as the rounds go on. I train with him all the time, and I've said that a couple times, but he gets like overly relaxed from those positions. That scares me. The hands start kind of just floating around by your chin. You saw that Mazzotta threw the head kick, and he wasn't really ready for it. He kind of slapped his gloves. He was lucky he wasn't in range.
See, right now, this is what I talk about. When you're sitting still, you're losing. And if you're Bunch, you've got to realize, I do not have this choke. This is not going to work. He's got my legs. I can't bring any kind of physical power into it. So don't settle for it. Start to move yourself, start to scramble out. Do not accept this position.
What he's going to do, he's going to try to hip heist right from there, see? Or he's going to try to go in for the switch.
But he gave his back.
Can he get the hooks in? Can he flatten him out?
He's got to keep that chin tucked. Start fighting wrist control. 2 hands on one. Not allowing one of those arms to get around the neck.
Big opportunity right here for Dominic Mazzotta.
What Bunch does really well is he's patient here. What he does, the sweat's already there. He's going to spin. As soon as Mazzotta starts to try to move, there it is.
Nice call, Josh. That's what we saw Joe Schilling do so well in the 3rd round of his fight.
A little bit different position. When you're talking about one guy being mounted and using a bridge to get that position back to guard. What you just saw with Bunch is he had a man that has his back. He has no offense, but he spins inside of that attack. And that's where, if you're Mazzotta, you got to look and say, I want to control this. That's when you start going to that figure 4, go to the body triangle, think about what you're doing. His legs were in a position where it gave Bunch the opportunity to make that spin.
This is what you were talking about earlier, though, about how you liked his hand position earlier, but then the moment there, both his arms were on the mat. That opens up opportunities to be attacked, either as triangle, arm bars, anything from that position. A little bit early of a stoppage.
Separate.
That coming from a wrestler referee, Frank Turk.
So they stand him up. Frank does with just over 2 minutes on the clock.
What Bunch likes to do from this position, sometimes when the guys get too heavy, he'll wait for you to try to lift the underhook, and he'll duck you on the far side. I don't know if he has the energy to do it.
John Bunch the Great, applying pressure, takes a knee to the midsection, goes old school with the foot stomp. 90 seconds remains in this fight.
Most of his success on these takedowns is in pulling him away from the fence, creating a little bit of space, out-wrestling him in the open field. Why would you wrestle him against the fence? You're extremely a better wrestler out in the open. Just wrestle him out in the open. So I've always tried to encourage him to do that. Get your guy off the fence. Don't have him against the fence. There's no reason for you to have him. You're the better wrestler out in the open field.
Don't forget, we want to fly you and a friend to witness Rory McDonald versus John Fitch on April 27th, and Alimale McFarland, Vita Ortega. A $10 donation on Prizeo is all it takes to enter. Your donation will go to help those affected by the devastating wildfires in California. Learn more at Prizeo.com/MMA. 40 seconds remain.
Just what I was just talking about. He started to kind of push him to the fence, and Mazzotta put too much freight forward, and he came out, and Sean ducked him out and came out to the back. It's like playing a video game.
Mazzotta trying to bring him up into a triangle, trying to hold that arm to get his leg up. Cannot do it. Bunch being smart in his attack and seeing that setup and backing himself off of it, then bringing himself back down on. You got to be impressed with the performance that Sean Bunch put on right now.
I mean, I'm impressed, but I mean, I kind of knew what he was capable of. Just a matter of whether he showed up and did it. And I thought he did. I mean, obviously, I would have liked to see him open up a little bit more in the second, a little bit more in the 3rd round. The 1st round was perfect.
Scorecards are in. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first judge, Jackie Dinkin, scores it 30-27. Your second judge, Michael Bell, 29-28. Your third judge, David Rathgaber, scores at 30-27. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Sean Bunch the Great.
Unanimous decision victory, second in a row. 30-year-old David Rickles against 31-year-old AJ Matthews. Now, other than the record, this tale of the tape is virtually identical.
20-5 for Rickles. He's got a lot of experience and a lot of wins because he's good. 9-8 for Matthews. You look at all the fights he's had, the wins come against great guys, the losses have come against great guys.
Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight from Pechanga Resort Casino, Bellator MMA's post-limbs here at 219 now go to the welterweight division set for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'11", weighing in 170 pounds even, his professional record 9-8. He fights out of Carlsbad, California, the mercenary, AJ Matthews. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 6 foot, weighing in 170.8 pounds as a professional. 20 victories, 5 defeats from Derby, Kansas, presenting David the Caveman Rickles. And the referee in charge of the action, Jason Herzog.
Patricio Pitbull, Michael Chandler, David Rickles, Patricky Pitbull, all with 16 wins. Joe Warren with 14.
First round, fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready?
Rickles, hey. Patricky, and Joe Warren, pardon me, with 14. Patricio and Chandler, and they're going to fight with 16. We are underway. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Red gloves for Rickles, blue gloves for Matthews. Tops. Oh! And he got rocked early.
He's hurt bad.
AJ Matthews looking for a quick finish here.
AJ Matthews should have backed off, stood up, make him get up, and then attack. There you go.
That's what he's doing. And again, firing away.
Dave Rickles is hurt.
Big time. Spinning a miss. He's in big trouble here.
Having a hard time even keeping his mouthpiece in. He's going to end up eating a big shot here.
Knocked him down twice. Switch kick.
What I like is AJ's being real patient now, picking and choosing his shots. I'd like to see a little bit more output if he wants to try to finish this fight. He's letting Rickles get back in the fight right now.
Mouthpiece. 3 first-round finishes for Matthews, all by knockout.
You can say what you want. What Rickles just did right there. That's a wily veteran. Oh, I lost my mouthpiece. So it's just 5 seconds more time, 10 seconds that I can get where I don't have AJ landing shots on me. That is a smart veteran fighter.
Reminds me of Diego Corrales. Diego Corrales did that against Castillo. Yep. Probably the greatest fight I've ever seen in boxing.
Tony Weeks, the referee, took points for it, but it did give the time. There comes the mouthpiece again, and it should be. Can't keep that mouthpiece in. Points are going to come off, or he's going to end up not fighting anymore in the fight.
It's come out twice, Big John.
It's still out. I don't know if Jason Herzog knows it.
You know I lost. I know it. You gotta keep going. I don't care. Just keep going.
And you can hear Jason Herzog knowing. I know your mouthpiece has. You got to keep going. And without that mouthpiece to bite down on, it can give an advantage to AJ as far as if he lands a shot, it can do damage to Dave Rickles. Normally we want to get that mouthpiece back in that mouth as quick as we can because a fighter does not have that many pieces of safety equipment.
Would you call it?
There it is.
Yes. About that.
So you wait till a neutral moment if you will, right?
Well, there's a low in the action, but right now he's allowing him to go again. He's already lost times. There comes a point, it's like, I'm going to start taking points because it is you gaining an unfair advantage by me stopping this fight.
Well, we saw what happened to Frank Mir in Hawaii without the mouthpiece.
Exactly.
But Rickles isn't that type of fighter, so I wonder what this is. A new mouthpiece, something he just didn't mold it properly. I've never seen him do that. I know he's a grizzled veteran, but he's not rocked right now. I understand when he did it the first time, but 2 or 3 times, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't take a whole lot of knowledge or skill to bite down on the mouthpiece. If you decide to come in with it, it is your responsibility to keep it where it's at.
I understand that, but I'm trying to figure out whether it's a new mouthpiece, possibly.
It might be.
It wasn't molded properly.
You can see every time he opens his mouth, it's coming down.
Yeah, I'm hearing actually that it is. It is a brand new mouthpiece.
Well, new or not, it's really dirty now, Josh.
I just like to prove Big John wrong.
Yeah.
What am I wrong about? I got a guy that's losing that mouthpiece continuously, and it's creating an advantage in the fight that he does not deserve.
It's not his normal
AJ Matthews is hurt.
And now AJ's in trouble. Rickles swinging away. And the mercenary trying to avoid being finished.
What a comeback for Dave Rickles right now.
The difference between the two fighters is this. AJ Matthews gave him time to recover. Rickles is not that kind of fighter.
Nope, and he's going after him with elbows and punches.
Look at the clock, guys. 25 seconds. Can Matthews make it? Flying knee lands.
Beautiful knee up the middle.
Hands up, AJ.
That helped him with the big shots to the head.
What a first round.
Big right hand by Rickles.
We got ourselves a fight. Saved by the bell.
Here's the beginning where AJ Matthews lands a big right hand, puts Rickles down. You see his hands go back, he knows where he's at, but he has a hard time controlling his body and position. AJ goes after him, another big hand. But then, here comes Rickles. Lands multiple shots. You see the stiffness in AJ Matthews' legs. He then goes down, bounces back up, is trying to fight back, is stumbling across the ring, falls into the cage. All of these shots taking a toll on him, and by the end of the round, Dave Rickles had brought himself back into that fight between him and AJ Matthews.
Back enough to win the round?
Yes, sir.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Goldie.
Josh, back enough to win the round in your mind?
Yes.
I know you're going to argue, but all right, so back enough to win the round for David Rickles. 10-9. Rickles, Patricky, Joe Warren, 14 wins in the Bellator cage. Patricio Pitbull, Michael Chandler tied with 16 at #1 all time. 22nd Bellator fight tonight for Rickles. That's tops in Bellator history. And he starts with some body shots here in round 2.
His dirty fighting inside is very good. He's able to land good shots. AJ missing a big elbow. What AJ needs to do is settle down. He hit Dave with some of his best shots. And sometimes when you hit someone with your best shots and you can't put them away, you're thinking, what do I need to do to get this guy to stop? And what you need to do is calm down and you say, I'm just going to keep touching.
Yeah, but if you go back to the beginning of the first round, what AJ was doing as well was he was actually lighting him up with the kicks to open up the stand-up. That's how he was able to land a big shot. So here, though, he's just now going into boxing, which is what Dave Rickles wants.
Yep.
His punch output's going to be a lot more than AJ Matthews.
Dave Rickles' right hand is finding a home every time he throws it, but that mouthpiece keeps on becoming a problem for him.
Yeah, let's just clarify, though. It was a mouthpiece that he forgot his original one at home. He had to go to Walmart yesterday, pick one up. Apparently it didn't work very well.
Get it. Let's go. Let's go. Keep it in.
I'm looking at you because you're always a ref.
Well, you've got to say, what is your responsibility as a fighter? Your responsibility is to keep that mouthpiece in your mouth. It is not A.J. Matthews' fault that you forgot your mouthpiece and went to Walmart and bought one. Every time that you drop it out, you're causing a stall in the fight. That could be a stall where A.J. has you even hurt. And so it comes a point where the referee is going to have to start taking points for him losing that mouthpiece. I've had fights. I had a fight with Joe Schilling in Kickboxing and Glory. Marcus Simon was an undefeated 39-01 fighter, and I took in overtime points for him losing his mouthpiece multiple times.
AJ with the slip, midway point of a great battle between these two battle-tested veterans. Matthews did damage early. Rickles did damage late in round one.
Nice outside trip by Dave Rickles. AJ needs to be careful of the knees right here.
No hand down. Put your elbow.
AJ continues to bring it. There's that lead elbow again by the caveman.
Matthews needs to get his head offline. There you go. Back to the kicks to help open up the stand-up. Because right now he's letting Dave Rickles just tee off.
And if you look at AJ's head is right in the center line, Josh. It is not moving. There's not a lot.
I think he got poked, Big John.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, right.
Yep. Seeing his right eye.
I didn't see the poke live, and it was right in the middle of a punch combination, so he could have reached out. Beautiful right hand by Rickles. Punch with a left hand.
This is a fair blow.
Okay, that was not. Oh, wow. That is not what we would look at. That is no foul. That is a punch. That is a legal blow. And if you can't go on, there is no time. That is a TKO.
It is. This fight's over.
He can no longer see. Listen.
I try to explain to people sometimes the MMA gloves are so small they fit right in the eye socket.
Yep.
We see it all the time with broken orbibles. I'm not saying that's what he has, but you see the eye swell automatically, and right from then he was just saying he couldn't
Can't see out of his eye. He got punched in right in the eye.
And he even put the two fingers up saying, I'm seeing double right away. Yeah.
God damn it.
Wow, what a fight. What a disappointing way for it to end. But man, that was fun.
Just gives us a reason to run it back.
That's it.
You got that right.
The big difference is when you have a legal blow like what Rickles landed with that left, there is no timeout.
Right.
You can't call timeout. That's a legal blow. If you can't continue on the fight, this fight's over.
So it will go as a TKO victory for David Rickles. The 15th of his Bellator career. But man, adversity early for David Rickles, Josh.
I almost feel like he fights better after going through some adversity early in the fight. You saw him kind of settle in as the fight started carrying on, and he started landing clean shots, started kind of picking apart, figuring out what A.J. Matthews was going to do. And when he did that, you saw at the end of that round, he hit him with a good couple clean shots, able to drop him twice, overwhelm him. What he did better than A.J. Matthews was is he didn't pick and choose his shots. He made A.J. Matthews run around the cage trying to avoid the shots.
And he earned the victory. Here's Michael C. Williams to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the blue corner unable to continue officially. 324, round number 2. The winner by TKO, David the Caveman Rickles.
7th career win by knockout. Boom! For the Caveman. Always entertaining. And here's John.
There is no better place for Joe to be than down there unconscious. Dave Rickles, what a fight, brother.
Hell yeah.
You came in here, and in the beginning that he hit you with the right hand, put you on the deck. What do you remember about that situation?
Can I get a hell yeah? What? Yeah, I remember getting dropped, and I remember saying, "Not today, motherfucker. This is my cage. This is my cage. My daughter and my son are watching me at home," and I said, "Not today, bro."
All right, I got to talk to you about the mouthpiece because obviously that was not here. Let me have that thing. Get rid of it.
Get rid of that shit.
Okay, that thing was horrible. What was going on with that thing?
Well, I forgot my mouthpiece at home, so I had to get a damn Walmart mouthpiece. So if there's any sponsors out there that want to send me a mouthpiece, please holler at me.
Well, I want to tell you, congratulations on a beautiful victory. Outstanding comeback. Ladies and gentlemen, the caveman, Dave Rickles.
Our tail of the tape between the 30-year-old and the 24-year-old Janae Harding we are very familiar with.
Harding's got a lot of height, a good reach advantage, but she is facing a very good submission fighter. Can she keep this fight on her feet?
Michael C. Williams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage we go. 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first the blue corner. At 5'6", she weighed in 144.4 pounds. Her professional record: 4 wins, 1 loss. Fighting out of St. Petersburg, Russia, presenting Marina Mohavnakina. And across the cage, her adversary out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 144.6 pounds. Her professional record: 4-3. By way of the Gold Coast, she fights out of Sydney, Australia, Janae "Hollow Point" Harding. In charge of the action, your referee, Frank Trigg.
Frank Trigg, our referee, and check this out from Janae Harding.
Stay right there, Janae. Stay right there. Stay back.
This is Janae Harding against Janae Kanema, and she opened up a cut with an elbow. That cut was deemed to be too big for this fight to go on past the first round. She gets a TKO victory.
We are underway. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Harding in the red gloves, Mohavnakina in the blue gloves.
I'm just going to say Marina.
Yeah, thank you so much, John. Thank you so much.
Janae in the red gloves, Marina in the blue gloves. Master of Sports in Sambo. This is Marina's first fight outside of Russia and her Bellator debut.
This right here is a big moment in the fight, even though it's new for Janae. Can she keep this fight on her feet? Because she is the better stand-up fighter. And if Marina has to really work hard to try to get her down, that's going to be an advantage for her lasting in this fight.
And when asked about this fight, Josh, that's what Janae said. I believe my striking will be my biggest advantage.
Here's the thing, her striking is her biggest advantage. She hasn't quite figured out how to use her length and her reach with her striking, though. She actually does a lot of her best work inside the clinch, the knees, the elbows on the break, things like that. We saw that in her last fight. Was able to get the cut and the win with the elbow. But that was all close-range fighting. Most people try to fight her on the inside because they want to try to get in because she's so tall and long.
Yeah.
Shotokan Karate black belt, Janae Harding. Kiwi, born in New Zealand, fighting out of Sydney, Australia. All of her fights before tonight at 135, or she also fights at 135 tonight. They meet at 145. Marina the same. She's coming off a bantamweight title fight overseas.
That was Marina's only loss. That was in Fight Nights Global.
Yep.
And all of her other fights, she has submitted her opponents. That one went the full 5 rounds, and she lost by decision.
Yeah, majority decision in that one, partner. 6-time Sambo world champion. 9-time Russian national Sambo champion. Her husband is a Sambo and MMA fighter as well.
Good job on the takedown. What she should have done there is try to pull her away from the fence as soon as she could.
That fence is a balance point, but that's exactly what Janae needs to use. Use that balance point, get yourself back to your feet, and make her work very hard from this position.
So if those of you guys don't understand Sambo, what I'm trying to explain to you is that Sambo is not just double legs, big lifts and takedowns, and lateral drops like that. What they are is foot sweeps, foot trips, things along those lines, hip toss. Those are the kind of takedowns like we just saw.
One of the things in watching Marina, she is very good with her leg locks. Good knee bars, good heel hooks, and a very good toe hold.
What I liked what she's doing right there is every time Janae tried to get up, she grabbed the leg and lifted it so she couldn't get all the way up to her feet. That also opens up the availability to go ahead and attack the leg locks.
If you see Janae starting to use that shield, you're going to see exactly this. Her going for that leg attack.
This is a position that will get you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
You leave yourself exposed.
I do not think that anyone should go after a straight ankle lock in MMA. It's not a good position to be in, especially if you're underneath. You want to switch it to a heel hook, great. But a straight ankle lock is more discomfort and pain than it is damage.
Yeah. If you want to go heel hook, toe holds, anything along knee bars, along those lines, but right now she's going straight ankle lock, and I agree with you 100%. She's leaving herself wide open for shots, especially with Janae Hardy being so tall. She's able to reach her still while standing while she's trying to attack the ankle lock and just take full grunt shots. What Janae needs to start doing here is trying to separate the feet, trying to use her free foot, the one that's not being attacked, along her butt, and trying to kick and make space to get her foot out.
Marina was trying to switch it to a heel hook, but is not in a position where she's going to make that happen.
She's trying to attack that knee bar now if she can, and she'll probably try to go back to like a heel hook or leg lock again.
But much to both of your guys' points, she's taken a lot of damage in the process.
That's exactly it. You know, and right now, she's got a knee bar. Now she's in a position where she can do damage. That is a tight knee bar, but you can look at Janae. She is not feeling that pressure right now. She's allowing that to go. She should put her foot exactly almost where it's at. Use that foot to pressure off. You gain space and get that knee past that hip junction.
What Marina needs to do is drop her butt down a little bit. Okay, so let loose on the leg a little bit, drop her butt down, and readjust it and snap the leg back.
I would have said she needed to adjust it underneath her armpit to create more leverage.
Man, and Marina really was going after it. Janae remained extremely calm.
But you can see as Janae's walking to her corner, take a look at her walk. That knee bar had an effect. She's trying to walk over, take a look at the walk.
Yep.
She's having a problem.
Yeah, you can say that as well, but Marina got up limping as well. Ready?
Round one in the books.
Fight.
Set for round two. Harding in the red and Mohawk Makina in the blue. Both fighters with 4 professional victories. Harding, this is her 3rd Bellator fight. For St. Petersburg, Russia's Marina Mohawk Makina, this is her Bellator debut. Now is where Janae should use that reach, Josh, that you were talking about earlier. Take advantage of every round starting on the feet.
Yeah, I've seen her fight her first 2 fights in Bellator. I thought she just didn't utilize that push kick enough. You know, given her length and her range and how long she is. Right to the clinch, ends up getting taken down.
Marina has a very nice use of that pressure and that lateral drop to get her opponent down on the mat, try to position herself, moves right in the mount. She has a distinct advantage in the ground fighting. It's a matter of can Janae keep herself from getting in trouble with all the submissions that Marina is good at.
Well, and all 4 of her professional wins have come by submission, all in round number 1, 2 arm bars, an E-bar, and an Achilles lock. We are in round 2 of this one.
She already tried the Achilles lock, and that didn't work for her. She went to the knee bar. It was much tighter. It was close. And you could see as Janae got up at the end of the round, it did damage. When you can't walk normal, it's saying, well, there was a problem there. But Janae needs to be careful with her on the ground. Center yourself up. Take time. Right now, what she has is not going to work in choking out Janae.
But Janae's arm is stuck right there, so it's a really awkward position.
It is awkward, you're right. It's stuck underneath her, it's trapped, and it's in that leg with that crossed guard.
Janae throws punches, trying to loosen up the hold of Marina in this position.
She got her arm free.
Close guard.
She needs to start trying to make space, get her hands off the mat, like we talked about with Sean Bunch. Keep your hands off the mat, keep them either like up around the armpit area or the biceps. Start trying to make space, back out of the guard so you can get back to your feet.
And that's exactly what you're seeing. Her left arm right now is trapped underneath the body of Marina. and it's useless at this point. You've got to create that motion to get that arm back, swing it out, get your arm back up on top.
It's also a lot harder to do when you're not fully sweaty yet. And I know
after a round, you would think there'd be some sweat going.
They're going to end up back on their feet. And Big John, when you were scouting Marina, you said she is very active off her back. So even when Janae was in top position, she was far from safe.
Well, she was the one who was actually creating the problems for Janae. Janae did nothing on top.
Yeah.
She's in the top position. That's the position that every MMA fighter really wants to be in. But she had no attack at all.
Those are some nasty kicks, Josh. And yeah, shot to the midsection.
She's doing a beautiful job, and I've always liked people that are able to control the legs a little bit, not always get head hunting, not always go head hunting. She did a great job punching to the body. That opens up the head also later on.
Showed an axe kick for a moment.
That's a trick that I picked up a long time ago from no other than Fedor Emelianenko. His ground and pound was vicious, but not always did he go to the head. He would go to the body.
And jump into the body.
Yes.
Watch for the up kick. She's got the length, but she's probably better to keep kicking, isn't she, John?
Well, she's doing the right thing, but you've got to not telegraph what you're going to do. Come in looking like you're going to punch and throw that kick down and then bring the punch. You're going to be more successful. She does have the length to stand up there, lean in, and throw a big right hand or left hand.
Good job being able to walk past the guard there.
Yep. Side control for Janae Harding. Final minute of round 2.
And Janae slicing that knee over, going to full
Nicely done.
Doesn't have a lot of time, but she could do damage that will do something in the remainder of this fight. Nice.
Good ground and pound. Big shots from Janae Harding. Teeing off with 15 seconds. Still 10 seconds remain. Harding trying to finish this fight right here, right now.
She's trying to defend herself, so that's why the fight's going on.
1-1.
Here's that ground and pound. Look at the slice of the knee over. Doesn't try to lift the leg over, slices it through. That's smart fighting. And when she gets up and postures, look at the ground and pound, going after big, heavier shots, trying to land elbows. You look at what Marina's doing. She is trying to break the posture, trying to bring her arms up to slice through that punching. That's why the referee allowed that fight to continue on, go all the way to the end of the round.
Third round, stay back.
5 minutes remain.
Ready, fight.
Third and final round. Okay, maybe we won't touch
Maybe
gloves.
we will not touch gloves. There was a language barrier there.
All right, scorecard, Big John. Yeah, I was right.
Yeah, scorecard for me, and I listened to your advice. That's why, Mike.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's all right, baby.
Yeah.
Marina looks exhausted.
Yeah.
She looks exhausted.
She is exhausted. You're exactly right. You can see just the movement. I think if Janae is smart, picks her spots, uses good footwork, she can just slowly and systematically tear her apart in this round.
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me with Harding's stand-up is that she doesn't ever settle her feet enough to actually get power and pop behind her punch.
Very true.
It almost looks like a sparring match. So, I mean, like, if she sat down on a couple big punches, you see it a little bit like with the Diaz brothers. They pop, and they throw big punches. This is what we're looking for with her. She moves around so much, but she never settles her feet long enough to actually get some power behind it.
One of the things you're seeing with Janae is she's utilizing a lot of good feints, but then she doesn't capitalize on them when the opening is there.
Yeah, that's it. It's part of what she's doing, though. She's bouncing around, and there's no rhyme or reason behind what she's doing. It's almost like she's shadow boxes all the time. She does a lot of shadow boxing, but there's no pop to anything she does. She's just going through the motions, and I see that a little bit in her stand-up. Like you just said right there.
Yep.
She stepped to the right, create the angle, but didn't throw anything.
24 years old. This is her 8th professional fight. She had 3 amateur fights. So definitely continuing her evolution.
There was just a little bit of a tell on that kid. And that's the difference. You know, when you're
People
watching,
in San Jose saw that.
when you're watching fighters and you see them, the guys like the Koreshkov, when he has no setup and he spins and you go, oh my God, how did he do that? And then you'll have a fighter that will telegraph everything that's coming their way.
But see, something like that was very nice. She dropped her weight down, stepped to the right, and threw the jab to the body. Nice job. But then she didn't follow up with another right hand over the top or a dragging left hook. Just want to see her do something a little bit more than just the bouncing around and throwing ones and twos. She has the potential to do so much more.
Exactly, you're exactly right. She starts to move a little too much, and when you're looking at her movement, sometimes it's just because I want to do it instead of having a function behind it.
She's making this third round a lot closer than it needs to be.
Yeah, and when you look at John's scorecard, and Josh, I'm sure you agree, at 1-1, she wants to be a lot more definitive in the statement she makes here in this final 2 minutes of round 3.
I would think that Janae would do exactly what Josh is talking about, start to set her feet and come straight forward, just like you're seeing right there. She has a chance of doing damage. Now she's into her, got her on the ground. I don't think Marina has enough energy to do anything as far as the submission at this point.
No, but Janae needs to get up, though, to win this round, I think.
Well, not, at this point, you got to have Marina do some type of damage. Just the takedown is not enough, and that's nice shot going back.
Get up.
She needs to work to get towards her feet. Don't accept that position. Don't accept. Make something happen.
That just comes with more time. I mean, honestly, I got to tell you, she looks fabulous on the feet. She just needs to work on the MMA sparring portion of it, not the kickboxing portion of it. We've seen it with Joe Schilling. You know, I'm not, in no way am I trying to compare the two in kickboxing. What I'm trying to say, though, is you see it, though. They're hesitant in certain things. They don't want to get too close. They don't always throw power. Joe talked about it with us in the meetings. You see that a little bit with her. But in this situation, she accepted the guard, which she should have just tried to pump back to her feet.
Yep. Josh, which was exactly the point I was making when I said 24 years old, 8th pro fight, 3 amateur fights. She's learning, and she's learning at the highest level. And some of her setbacks, John, have been to very established mixed martial artists.
No doubt about it. She lost to an amateur fight to Megan Anderson, who's fighting in the UFC. She lost to Jessica Rose Clark, fighting in the UFC. She lost to Arlene Blenko, who fights here in Bellator. Those are her losses, both amateur and pro. You know, and so you look and say she has fought quality opponents throughout her career, even though she's very young.
Final seconds of this fight. They're going to swing to the finish and go the distance. Harding and Mohawk Nikina. All right, who will get their arm raised? Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your judges at cage side. Your first judge, Luis Copian, scores at 29-28. Judge Jackie Dinkin scores at 29-27. Your third and final judge, David Rathgiver, scores at 29-28. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Janae Harding.
Unanimous decision victory for Janae Harding. Tail of the tape for our next fight. This a contracted bout at 160 pounds. Darren Smith Jr., Joshua Jones.
8-3 to 15-10. There's a little bit of a reach advantage for Darren Smith, but you gotta love Joshua Jones when he talks about his dad bod.
Michael C. Williams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Pechanga Resort Casino, we go 3 5-minute rounds at 160 pounds. And introduce first the blue corner at 5'9", weighing in 159 pounds. His professional record: 15 wins, 10 losses. Fighting out of Chino Hills, California, Darren Hollywood Smith Jr. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'8", weighing in 160 pounds even as a professional. 8 victories, 3 defeats, fighting out of Long Beach, California, presenting Josh Jones. In charge of the action, your referee, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran, our referee. A battle at 160. As our bonus coverage continues here on DAZN and the Bellator app. Darren Smith Jr., Joshua Psycho Jones. Here we go. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste at only 96 calories. Jones in the red gloves. He is a southpaw. Blue gloves for Darren Smith Jr., who will turn 32 years old on the 5th of next month.
Being from here in California, I've seen both these guys. I've refereed. Oh, that's a big shot. He's hurt.
It is all over, just like that. Wow! 1,973 days since his last Bellator appearance. And man, did he make the most of it.
Big right hand from Darren Smith. Watch the right hand here, boom! That puts his lights out. Right hand hurts him. Second right hand puts him away. Boom, look at that shot. It is all over. All that work in boxing works.
It wasn't even a straight right hand. It was a little uppercut, and then that turned him around, and he was able to land the other right hook.
Michael C. Williams will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. 34 seconds into round number 1. The winner by knockout, Darren Hollywood Smith Jr.
Tail of the tape for our next fight here. Live from the Pechanga Resort Casino. Contracted at 175, John Mercurio and Johnny Cisneros.
Look at it, that nice evenness throughout. Both have good records. Little bit of age difference, 5'10" to 6'1", but the reach for Mercurio could be the difference.
Millennia MMA for the Tattoo Terror. Johnny Mert fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. Kings MMA and the Huntington Beach Fight Club under Master Rafael Cordero. Here's Michael C. Williams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage at 175 pounds. We're set now for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first the blue corner at 6'1", weighing in 174.2 pounds. His professional record 8-8. He fights out of Huntington Beach, California. Johnny Mercurio. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'10", weighing in 173.8 pounds as a professional. 12 victories, 6 defeats, fighting out of Southern California. Introducing Johnny, the Tattoo Terror Cisneros. And the referee in charge of the action, James Beers.
James Beers, our referee for this 175-pound fight. Representing SoCal, Southern California.
Body ready. Body ready. Fight.
Mercurio and Cisneros. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories.
Nice whizzer by Mercurio. You see Johnny coming in, trying to get that body lock takedown. Mercurio does a good whizzer to bring him right back down to where he needs him to be.
How many hours do you think he spent in that chair for those tattoos?
Just a couple. Just a couple. You got to fall in love with a certain buzz to get that many tattoos, but Johnny has been that way since I've known him. And both guys have been here on the California scene for quite some time. Both good fighters, Both have distinctly different approaches to the MMA game, though. What you're seeing out of Johnny Cisneros right now is exactly the way he likes to fight. He needs a grinding, gritty, dirty fight for him to be successful. If he stands on the outside and decides to trade from the outside, usually he gets himself into trouble. But when he can utilize his wrestling and control position, he does very well.
This is not where he wants to be.
No, this is exactly where Mercurio wants him to be.
Nice big right hand, though.
And what you're going to see, Josh, is both guys, Johnny likes to utilize that length, and he likes to move his feet, set a guy up, and utilize that big uppercut is what he likes to hit guys with. And when he does, he's very successful. Good position, good hip position by Johnny Mercurio, utilizing the fence to help him with it as a balance point. Johnny Cisneros getting himself back to his feet. But this is the fight that Mercurio wants. He wants it on the outside. Feel that one a little bit.
Feel that one there.
This is where Mercurio always does well. It's when guys can get him against the cage, slow him down, and out-grapple him, he starts to have problems. But if he can stay on the outside, that's where he's going to be successful. This is now. It's the story of who can control the range of this fight.
They clinch. Johnny Cisneros very proud to represent SoCal.
And again, right here, this is what I'm talking about. I never know, why are you holding on to that position when you know it's no good? Don't accept going to your butt, closing your guard, and now having him on top of you. If you don't want to be there, start to move, start to create an opening so you can get back to your feet.
Many years ago, he walked into Joker's MMA at 280 pounds. Ran into Mark Munoz and James Wilkes, and the rest is history. Here he is, 173.8, age 39. Teammate of Lorenz Larkin at Millennia MMA.
Make something happen.
Smart by Mercurio, you know what? Make him fight your fight. If you want it to be in the stand-up position, then make him get up.
Well, he is a Brazilian Muay Thai black belt, and that's under the professor, Rafael Cordero. Nice knee.
A Brazilian Muay Thai black belt.
That's what they told me.
Someone gave you some nice information there.
That's what they told me. Well, if it's under Rafael Cordero, I think it could exist.
Rafael Cordero is a great coach.
Yes, he is.
But I don't think he gives out black belts in Muay Thai.
Well, maybe it came from Daniil Dariush.
Come from maybe Sears and Roebuck, too.
Walmart. With a mouthpiece.
The reason why I like this position with Cisneros, putting him against the fence, is it also starts making Mercurio use his arms a little bit more. It takes him pop off the punches.
Yeah, smart move. Both guys kind of feeling good about that round. Johnny Cisneros was able to control up against the cage. Mercurio was able to have that time where he had some space, did some damage. I say Mercurio takes that round 10-9.
Close round, though.
Yep.
Round two.
That was a nice kick to the body by Johnny.
And a heavy one to the leg. And Johnny Cisneros very wide.
Nice
to try to close the gap here.
Nice job with the takedown by Cisneros, but a good wizard gets Mercurio back to his feet. Johnny Cisneros utilizing that head as the third arm, trying to get head position, make him long. Both guys working very hard here. This is, like I said, this is that grinding fight. You see that nice use of the wizard, brings the foot across. John Mercurio ends up inside control. Let's see what he can do from this position here.
If I was Mercurio, I would actually just make space, get back to my feet, take it back to there.
Well, that's playing to your strength, and that's smart fighting. I honestly believe, overall, Johnny Cisneros has the better ground game, but Mercurio knows what he's doing down here. You can see that step over, he should slide that knee, don't step it over. Now you went to half guard. When you're inside control, you just lost position.
So for me, I would have said for Mercurio, just stay in the side control position, stand. As soon as he starts to make a play to get to half guard or full guard, I would have just backed out. Back to your feet. There's sweeps here, there's different types of submissions in this position. It sort of opened up the submission game for Cisneros.
2 minutes into round 2. Mercurio on top, utilizing the Turk. His last 5 wins have come by a first round finish, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. Been 2 years, 2 days, 8 days since his last fight. And they are scrambling all over right now.
John Mercurio is looking for a head and arm choke, arm triangle choke, but he's not in position to be able to get that based upon where the fence is at. You can't create that space to make it happen by stepping over, and Johnny Cisneros uses the fence with his feet. He can keep his feet on the fence. He can have those up there. He can utilize the fence to push off. He just can't control by grabbing with his toes.
A lot of the tattoos have a meaning. Aztec warrior descent, Mexican culture. Intense, hardcore to say the least. Johnny Cisneros.
I've always felt if you can actually use your toes to escape, you should be able to.
Well, it used to be that way.
Yeah.
It did, and then they changed the rules and they said, oh, you can't use the toes, so that's what we have now.
Got caught with that uppercut. Athleticism and speed on display from 32-year-old Johnny Mercurio.
Mercurio needs to use his footwork to keep his back away from the fence, get himself more to the center of the cage, and use that space to make Johnny Cisneros have problems getting towards him.
We last saw Johnny Mercurio inside the Bellator cage in Inglewood back in January of 2017. Made his Bellator debut right here in 2014. A little change of pace there and a huge knee thrown by Mercurio. Cisneros fighting through it though.
What happens sometimes is guys, they thought they got the takedown. They don't keep their hands locked. He should have pulled him away from the fence and secured the takedown. He let go too soon.
That's why Mercurio was able to his feet.
Right back to his feet.
That's because Cisneros was thinking when he pulls him out, oh, I can start to punch, and he starts to think about punching. You can't do 2 things at one time. It just doesn't work. Secure that position, then go to your strikes.
I can chew gum and walk.
No, you can't. I've watched.
He's doing a lot of good things, Cisneros is, but he just, those little tiny mistakes has cost him to be right back to where he is right now.
Nice elbow.
I hate to see guys work that hard for a takedown, get it, and not secure it.
That's because you know the effort that it takes to get there.
So much work.
Here's the knee that lands. Bip didn't land with that much power, but it was a good body shot by Johnny Cisneros coming in. There's the body shot, but here comes the knee. It lands. It just doesn't follow through with the power that a knee needs to have to do that damage. Johnny Cisneros getting to his knees, and when you look at someone, Don't wrestle from your knees. You're not Jordan Burroughs.
See, as you saw right there, he was able to scoop the legs out,
Yep.
let go of the lock too soon.
Punching. Yeah, exactly right.
Set for the third and final round.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
Red gloves for Johnny Cisneros, blue gloves for Johnny John Mercurio.
Nice right hand by Cisneros. Puts him all the way against the cage.
Quick punches and applying pressure. Old school foot stop.
Going back to Marco Lewis, baby.
Can the street. Double underhooks. 30 seconds into this third and final round.
I think a common mistake for most people that have their hands locked in an over-under or a body lock is to keep leaning against them against the fence. Pull them off the fence and start trying to either knee tap or foot sweep on that outside foot sweep. Something along those lines will help get your guy to the ground. You keep leaning on him, you're just wasting energy.
And a good use of the plum clinch by Mercurio with some good knees to the body of Cisneros.
I do not know why Johnny Mercurio is backing himself towards the cage. Making a huge tactical mistake. Facing a guy that wants to have him there. Circle, get yourself to the center, and now that's why you're on the ground.
Cisneros almost lost it again. He let go of the lock too soon to start throwing the punches. But when someone backs themselves up to the cage, like you were saying, that just shows that you're a tired fighter.
Yep, you're exactly right. You know, you're looking to gain space, gain time. You're telling yourself inside your head, you're going, I'm just going to back up. I'll throw that shot, but you don't throw it.
You're trying to make as much space as you can, but then the cage stops you. You're like, you can't leave.
That's it.
Yeah, you can see the fatigue is setting in, and you were saying this from the very beginning. This is Cisneros' game. He needs to fight this way. The fight needs to happen this way. Otherwise, he wouldn't win.
Exactly. This is Johnny Cisneros is that grinding,
Big
gritty
shots
fighter.
here, boys. KG veteran.
What I like that he did there is he got the takedown against the fence, right? Where his back was against the fence, but he reached around with that back far side arm and grabbed that far side wrist. So then that opened up the whole shots. He put his head to the fence, so Mercurio's arm couldn't get free, so he just had 3 shots to the head.
And right now you see him trying to lace that right arm. He just let go of it, but he's lacing it, controlling the right arm of Johnny Mercurio.
And John, one of the specialties of Cisneros that you pointed out is knowing how to drag his opponent into deep waters, which is exactly what he's doing right here, right now.
Yeah, you know, that's part of, there's all kinds of ways to beat someone. Sometimes you beat them with spectacular motion as far as grand techniques, big power. Sometimes you beat people by out-gritting them, taking them down, making them work hard, making them go to a pace that is uncomfortable to the point where they can no longer sustain what they want to do offensively, and you're now controlling the fight.
Under 2. And again, the pressure applied by the tattooed terror.
Yeah, it's a perfect saying. It is pressure. Gets his hands clasped. There he goes after the punches again. I would like to see him do the same thing Josh's talking about. Get that position. Control the position. Put him where you can now hold his hips down, control his head, then start opening up with the punches.
He did a good job because Mercurio was getting ready back up to his feet. And he sat him back to his butt. That was nice. Sat him back to his hip and his butt. Great job there.
Right now, heavy hips on top of his hips. Gotta be careful with where he's elbowing.
Oh, that was a good shot. That would hurt him in another.
And it's always, look at the punches that come from up underneath the arm. You can't see them coming. And what you don't see usually hurts you.
Not only that, but then that position there, when those punches come up underneath, your jaw is usually open.
Especially now that you're gasping for air because you're tired after 3 rounds of fighting.
And it was Mercurio who said, as my opponent tires, I will still be at full capacity, which is exactly the opposite of what we're seeing here in the final minute of the fight.
I can't talk about anyone's cardio. I get tired walking to the refrigerator.
Especially when you're chewing gum into it.
Yeah.
39 years old and taking it to his opponent here in the third and final round.
Look at Johnny using that head. It's that third arm, straightening him out, making him long, and just grinding him into a victory.
Was the third round enough for him to win the fight? Did he win the first and the second?
I believe that Johnny won the second round.
So does he.
Oh, they're both Johnny.
It's good. Judges have rendered their decision. Michael C. Williams to tell us which John has won this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your judges' scorecards. Your first judge at cage side, Michael Bell, scores the fight 28-28. He sees the fight even. His scorecard, however, overruled by judges Jackie Denkin and David Rathgaber, both scoring the same, 29-28. I'll have it for the winner by majority decision, Johnny Mercurio.
Majority decision win for Johnny Mercurio. And our tail of the tape for our next fight. This one in the bantamweight division. Roman and Ricky, 3-1, 1-0, just 22 years old. Another Millennia MMA product, and thus a teammate of Lorenz Larkin and Johnny Cisneros, who we just saw a moment ago. And in American Taekwondo black belt is the Iron Monkey out of Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center, Team Quest Temecula.
He's an outstanding wrestler. He's a grinding fighter. Puga is the guy that has the more developed game and is a very established striker.
Michael C. Williams.
Tonight here at Pechanga Resort Casino. Inside the Bellator cage, we now go 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing first the blue corner at 5'8", weighing in 135.6 pounds. His professional record 1-0, fighting out of La Puente, California, presenting Roman Puga. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'6", weighing in 135.4 pounds. As a professional, 3 victories, 1 defeat by way of Angola, Indiana. He fights now out of Temecula, California, Ricky Iron Monkey Ferron. In charge of the action, your referee, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog, our referee. Roman Puga and Ricky Ferrar. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Round, buddy, you ready? Buddy, you ready? Fight!
Here we go. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. Ferrar representing Dan Henderson's Team Quest Temecula in the red gloves. Iron Monkey, the 22-year-old Roman Puga in the blue gloves.
Nice little jumping knee there to start the fight off. I think you're going to see with Roman Puga, he has got a very good stand-up game, good hands, good footwork, good balance. So you're going to see Ricky trying to take this fight to the ground. That is the place that he can win this fight.
Both guys, John, young in their professional careers, but they have very extensive amateur careers. 7-2 for Puga and 15-3 for Ricky Ferrar, and all 3 losses came by decision.
You can see the experience on both these guys. Very nice by Puga to actually use the fence to kind of walk the leg up over the head. Very nice job.
And he's got a good attempt at this. If he can continue to extend his hips, he has a chance of making that work. It's a matter of can he do that. By off-balancing Ricky, he will have the ability to possibly straighten that arm out.
Ferrar needs to keep him stacked. He needs to keep him stacked. Keep his weight down on him so he can't extend his legs out.
And Ferrar taking his knee, putting it towards Roman's face and head and neck. That's a smart move to create pressure down on him.
You're going to saw with that elbow. Saw.
Smiling Sam Alvey, his head coach.
Doing a good job trying to get his head. I was going to say weasel his head back in there.
Close guard now.
Careful not to put the head.
Nice job of creating that angle by Roman, going after that arm on the other side now. He's got the leg entwined with it, so he has the ability to even create a reversal out of this if he doesn't get the arm lock.
He's going from armbar to triangle, back and forth, back and forth.
Right back to armbar again.
With the potential for Farrar pulling his arm out. If he does that, he could potentially go to the sweep from there or the armbar. Or triangle, I mean.
Midway point of round number 1.
What you're seeing is a guy off of his back, controlling the fight, creating all of the possibilities of fight-ending sequences by controlling that arm, getting position, doesn't work, then he comes right back with another submission attempt.
What Farrar needs to quit doing, though, is he needs to make sure his hips always stay directly in front of
Puga. Yeah.
Directly in front of his hips, yeah. Instead, he keeps shuffling his hips to the side. That's opening up the armbar for him.
Which is allowing Puga to swing towards that armbar. Again, just did it again. Sets it up.
When you include his amateur career.
There's what we're talking about with that reversal right there. And he's got, right now, that's an S mount on top. He's got his back. He has the ability to end this fight right now.
Yep, and he has ended a lot of them, John. Combined pro and amateur, 7 of 8 career wins have been finishes. 6 by submission.
He lost that left hook. Still in a position to do damage. And this is where Ricky is very good. He continues to fight for position. Does not ever stop if he doesn't like the position he is. He does not give in and just accept it.
And boom. Ricky throws Roman Puga back on his back and throws some grounded pound. Farrar said his greatest strength is his resilience and ability to adapt to his opponents.
Puga's been he's been carrying all of Farrar's weight this whole time. He's been on the bottom the whole time. So let's see how that starts to play out in the second round, and especially later in the fight. This is not a place you want to spend a ton of time in a fight. It's on your back. Doesn't matter how good
it's tight now.
Can he get it? Looking to lock it down. A lot of time.
He allowed Ricky to grab it back and reestablish, but he has the ability to extend those hips. Yeah. Little bit of sweat, little bit of slipperiness. Just powered his way out of it.
Maybe a little bit of that fatigue that Josh was alluding to.
It's hard to be on the bottom, especially if someone who's a good wrestler, someone who knows how to take control from that position or top position and use their hips and their weight on you.
And create that pressure. I am impressed with what Roman is doing, though. He continually becomes offensive off of his back and creates possible fight-ending sequences. Very impressed with what I saw, though. And here's a round where you look. Roman Puga took a couple of shots, but overall, from the bottom, he won that round 10-9.
So the 22-year-old Iron Monkey in the blue gloves up 1-love on Big John's scorecard.
No, Iron Monkey is down.
Iron Monkey is down. Coming out aggressively. 22 years old, he said, keep an eye out for me. I will be a world champion one day.
Nice
shot to the body.
This is what I saw when I was watching tape. And I said, Goldie, we got a guy here. This kid's good. He has got good hands. He actually has good kicks. He's just got to settle into this fight, keep himself in that nice circle in the middle of the Bellator cage, which is going to create a much harder circumstance for Ricky to get that takedown.
He's doing a great job of just keeping pressure on him, always staying kind of in the pocket, making sure that Farrar can't really adjust. He's got to feel like he's always under pressure. That's going to make him even more tired and faster.
Yeah, when you got a guy that keeps walking you down and you're going backwards, it is exhausting when you can't get that space. Roman jumping, trying to get that triangle, that was not what I would consider a smart move at this point in the fight.
Bellator fans, you want the same Bellator fans, you want the same gear the fighters wear and more. Find new official Bellator MMA gear, Kimbo Slice bobbleheads, much more at BellatorShops.com. 90 seconds into round number 2. Nicely set up. dodged the jab, connected with a right.
Flying triangles are something you do when you're 22 years old.
Yes, you do. That's, you know what? Great point, because you look and you go, it's not what we call a high percentage move. You know, it looks great, and it could possibly happen, but not usually against a guy that's got a grappling background like Ricky.
You know what, though, I say is that when young talent is willing to do that in a fight, it lets you know that they spend a ton of time in the gym having fun. And that you're seeing how good he is on the ground is because he's goofed around probably trying to hit that on countless people in the gym just having fun.
Yep.
And that, to me, that shows the progression of a fighter who he loves doing what he's doing. He's willing to try to in a real fight.
Just loves being in there.
Yeah, he loves being in the gym. He loves being a workhorse and a gym rat probably.
Yep.
And his lone professional win, by the way, came by triangle choke. I mean, when you're talking about Roman in that fashion, Josh, you're talking about a guy like A.J. McKee. Having fun, doing different things, showcasing his athleticism. He can do the normal things, but he can also be so dynamic and so fun to watch.
Here goes that armbar attempt again. He's got those legs up.
Very true, but they're very different in style. And I know you're trying to make that relation.
Yeah, just to having fun and willing to go for some crazy highlight reel knockout and finish type move.
Well, let's talk about Joey Davis tonight, though. Same exact thing, throwing spinning back kicks.
Yes.
One of the greatest wrestlers ever, in college. And he's here throwing spinning back kicks, side kicks, things like that. That lets you know that he's in the gym just throwing caution to the wind, trying new things. And that has to do with him being comfortable with the guys he trains with. It has to do with him just enjoying what he's doing and his coaches. And just, let's play with this today on the pads. We may never use it, but let's play with it.
But maybe we will.
Yep.
Same gym as AJ McKee. Big ground and pound now for Ricky Ferrar.
And one of those shots opened up a small cut on Puga's forehead. You can see that he's got a little bit of blood there. It's not going to cause him a problem in the fight, but all of this motion, all of this being underneath, and like Josh is saying, you're starting to see a little bit of the slowdown, a little bit of less movement, a little bit of now that's why Ricky's able to open up. And this is what a grinding fight will do.
So what I don't like, even though Puga's doing it, and he's had success doing it, but against a seasoned fighter a little bit more, is he keeps reaching inside the leg.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't like that is because a seasoned fighder will sit on your hand.
Trap that
and you'll never get that hand back, and there's no way you can extend your hips up because your arm's stuck to the mat. So that's a very learning jiu-jitsu, young thing to do. You have to be able to do it at a fast pace, no hands, right away, whether it's armbar or triangle. It'll come with time. I mean, he's attacking fast. You can see these attacks, so they're fast. But that's one little thing that he's gonna probably have to shake here shortly. So all those things are relevant in that conversation that Sam Alvey was talking about.
For the cut? Yeah. Do we feel like this is a... Yeah, let's try. Yeah? Okay.
Wow.
I do not know why they're stopping that fight.
Say there was a cut.
Yeah, it is not a cut that's going to stop that fight. He was looking at his jaw, and it might be that he has a broken jaw from the side, and there's actually inside he's bleeding as far as inside his mouth.
No, they said that the cut is in the eye.
Oh, it's in the eye.
Yeah. Because Puga just walked away and said, hey, the cut is in my eye.
He got it. He got hammer fisted while he was on the ground. Well,
That's from that ground and pound.
So, do a cut. But yes, that's a TKO.
Many times when you're looking at cuts around the eyes, when a doctor will look and he'll say that if you have a cut that's towards your tear duct, they're going to stop the fight, because if they can't sew that up and they can't do it right, you will lose the function of that tear duct, and it's up in that portion of the eye towards the inner part of his eye, and that they will always stop the fight every time because they're worried about doing damage that will affect your eye for the rest of your life.
Well, that's a great job done by the doctor. Jason Herzog may have spotted it as well to bring in the doctor. So well done, and more important to fight another day. Michael C. Williams will make it official.
The fight waved off, a doctor stoppage due to a cut inside of the eye of the fighter in the blue corner. Official time, 5 minutes, round number 2. The winner by TKO, Ricky Iron Monkey Ferrall.
Ricky Ferrall, 2-0 inside the Bellator cage.
Spirit of the
Both
sky,
of his
baby.
wins right here in his own backyard. With the tail of the tape, lightweight battle, last one here tonight from Temecula. Professional debut against the youngster Eugene Correa. The reach advantage will go to Sonny, and once again, Michael C. Williams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the final post-game tonight here at Bellator 219 will go 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 6 foot, weighing in 155.4 pounds. His professional record early on stands at 0-1. He fights out of Long Beach, California, Eugene Conquistador Pereira. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 6'1", weighing in 155.2 pounds, making his professional debut out of Washington, D.C. He fights out of San Diego, California, Suni Imhotep. And the referee in charge of the action, James Beers.
James Beers, our referee. Suni Imhotep and Eugene Correa, Conquistador. 25-year-old against 28-year-old.
Body ready.
Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Bellator debut for both men. Red gloves for Suni Imhotep, and Eugene Correa is in the blue gloves. "25-year-old Eugene, the Conquistador, likes to fight at a high pace with an unorthodox style.
Oh, there's a nice right hand over the top.
Nice big uppercut. Suni again locks him. This may not last very long.
He's eating big shots here, Mike.
And again,
it's over.
he's all over. Just like that. Wow!
Now that's what you call a professional debut.
You have got that right, my friend.
Had him rocked, picked and chose his shots, didn't rush him. Very nicely done.
Talk about that, Josh. Think about that being a guy's professional debut. He hurt someone, never went after him real fast. Took his time, picked his shots. Just an outstanding job of lands this big right hand. That's what starts it all. Look at the uppercut. Snaps his head back, still pressures, but waits. Creates distance. Watch the uppercut land. Boom! That just puts it down and out.
Before that, he was measuring him with his jab hand, just kind of reaching out. Not touching him, but letting him know what the range was, and that's how he set up that little uppercut. He hit him a couple times also earlier than that. See, he's not planning to touch him.
Nope.
He's just reaching and measuring.
Measuring that hand to bring it through.
Jeez.
4 knockout victories as an amateur, and a quick knockout victory in his professional debut.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. 44 seconds into round number 1. The winner by knockout now, an undefeated professional, Suni Imhotep.
Suni Imhotep, 44-second knockout in his professional debut. Our tail of the tape for this, our first fight of the night, live on Paramount. There is a slight reach advantage for Joe Schilling.
There is, and you're looking at that 3-5 record, and that is what is going to change based upon Joe Schilling becoming a full-time MMA fighter.
All right, let's get things officially underway with the voice, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Pechanga Resort Casino Live on Paramount Network. Bellator MMA begins with middleweights inside the cage set for 3 5-minute rounds. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 186 pounds even, his professional record 15-14-1. He fights out of Marietta, California, presenting Keith KO Kid And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 6'3", weighing in 186 pounds even. The world-class kickboxer enters the cage at 3-5 as the mixed martial artist. He hails from Los Angeles, California, presenting Joe Schilling. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran, our referee, for our first fight tonight live on Paramount Network. Keith Berry and Joe Schilling.
All right, gentlemen, first round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Hand up, let's go.
Here we go! Red gloves for Stitch 'em Up, Joe Schilling. Blue gloves for the KO Kid, Keith Berry. Nice kick early.
Beautiful hands.
This could be it.
And this is what Joe Schilling was talking about. Look, I am a complete mixed martial artist now. I'm good at fighting on the ground. I want to have a ground attack. I want the fight to go there, and I want to show what I can do. And that's what he's doing right now.
No doubt that he talked to us about his full-time commitment to MMA. He said there is no more kickboxing in my future. That said, his striking will probably always be 90% better than most everybody he fights.
Oh, no doubt about it. Look, you cannot be the best in the world at kickboxing and be the best in the world at MMA. It just doesn't work that way as far as the training. So you've got to give something to gain something else. And that's what Joe Schilling has been working on. He's been working on this type of action right here. Wrestling and not being so afraid to be taken down.
Taken down here early.
Very nice side control position by Keith Berry. Keith Berry has got a very good top game. He's very heavy on top, and he does a lot of damage, so we'll see how much Joe Schilling can negate him from this position right now.
Josh, you talked to Joe earlier, and he said, hey, I welcome this. I'm prepared for this. I've trained for this.
He's already doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's framing his elbows on the inside, trying to get his underhooks. He's basically trying to get back to a full guard or half guard position so he can start to escape and get up. I like that he's throwing a little chopping elbows, because see, it made Keith Berry move. It gave him an opportunity to try to get an underhook. What he needs to do is not hang out in this position here. There he goes, right to his knees is what he needed to do. Beautiful job by Joe.
See, that's the difference right there. That was a position in the past Joe Schilling did not get out of. Now he just worked his way out of that with good technique, doing things like Josh talked about. The framing, the movement, all of that is what you're looking for.
Showed that front kick. He'll switch his stance. Obviously, very highly decorated kickboxer.
What you have to remember is this. Joe talked about he's been training, he's ready for the ground, he welcomes the ground. The issue is, though, is it takes years to get that type of muscle memory or that type of muscle endurance to be able to last on the ground that long. So you can see Joe slowed down a little bit after he got up from the bottom. There was a lot of ground and pound position in that top position when he was in guard, and then also when he was on bottom, there was a lot of energy used to get up. So those are the type of things we have to watch for. It takes months and years for someone to develop that type of muscle endurance for the grappling.
Switch stance utilized by Schilling, inside leg kick. He throws everything with ill intention.
He throws everything hard. That has always been who Joe Schilling is. And that's why he goes by, you can't stop crazy. The way he fights sometimes, we look at him and go, that's crazy. You don't throw that hard all the time. But he does it, and he gets away with it, and he makes it work.
2013, sorry Josh, Glory World Middleweight Tournament champion, Muay Thai World Champion, Muay Thai National Champion. He's got one style, and that's to leave his opponent need stitches. Stitch him up, baby.
You can tell there's still a little bit of a hesitation on his striking, though. Okay, he's kind of waiting for Keith Berry to shoot the double leg or to smash down on the single leg or something along those lines. You're watching it. He kind of drops his head a little bit in his hands, and they get close to each other.
I honestly think he was starting to drop the hands a little bit to shake out that lactic acid after trying to work hard on the ground to get himself back up. Just get that little bit out, get loose, and start throwing big shots. That's what he does.
Now in Keith Berry, he is facing a man who also loves the stand-up game. Very tough, durable. John, you talked about the power that Berry has in his right hand.
He's got a big right hand. Like, I did a fight of Keith Berry's against Cortez, and man, I'm telling you what, it was a brawl. Keith Berry has no quit in him at all, and you could tell, look at the very beginning of this fight, he took some big shots, and he just came back and he's going to work at doing his thing. That's what makes Keith the veteran that he is.
Cortez Coleman back at Bellator 96, John, 2013.
I'd like to see Joe get a little bit more into the clinch a little bit, okay? Working those knees, using the elbows against the fence, something like that to slow Keith Berry down.
Big takedown late in the round for Keith Berry.
Here's the shot in the beginning. There's that beautiful kick, and then there's that left hand that landed. It put that nice welt and hematoma on the side of Keith Berry. Good shots coming in, tries to do some ground and pound, and you'll see that, watch the elbow come across here. This is Joe Schilling trying to work his ground game. The big thing he's got to do is take his time, look, pick your point, and then go for it.
Round two. Joe Schilling, red gloves, born in Dayton, Ohio, fighting out of Los Angeles. Lake Tahoe native Keith Berry, a member of Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center, Team Quest. Also works with Extreme Couture boxing coach Jamie Huey in Las Vegas.
You see that little tiny kick. You saw the two kicks by Joe Schilling, and when you see him kicking, you see Keith's legs coming together. Joe's going to pick that up, and he's going to then set that up to do the exact same kick and then bring a right left that he likes to land.
Joe keeps kind of lunging in with that straight left. He's going right hook, straight left. The problem is Keith Berry keeps ducking under. I'd like to see him maybe fake the left and throw that knee up right up the middle.
Took that one off the forearms, ducking down. Berry definitely happy to engage and trade with Joe Schilling.
Well, I'm really impressed. A lot of guys, when they fight Joe, they're diving for takedowns because it's, I want to get this guy to the ground. He's not doing that. Look, he's in the stand-up game. He told us he was going to do that, and I was kind of like, are you sure? Nice job of dropping levels and getting to that double leg takedown.
This is the kind of fight he needs to fight, though, to keep Joe Schilling on his toes. He needs to make sure he's mixing up. Get him into the stand-up fight. Keep coaxing him into it, keep coaxing him into it. All of a sudden, boom, takedown. Now he can do some work from the top position.
Trains with Smiling Sam Alvey, Tom Galicchio, Sean Strickland, and you spent a lot of time training with Hendo, Dan Henderson, before Hendo retired. But if you check Hendo on social media, he's still always beating up his students over that Team Quest Temecula.
I like that little trick he just did. He was covering Joe's mouth. You can tell that Joe's breathing a little heavy. Now he's put him on the bottom. Joe's going to spend a little bit more energy trying to get up because it's going to take a couple more fights for Joe to get real comfortable on the ground. But Joe's doing a good job of making sure he's not taking any damage, but he needs to get up.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about. In that closed guard position, now holding on, Joe is basically wanting the referee to get him up out of this position. And as long as Keith Berry is working and trying to do damage to him, the referee's going to let him go, and so Joe's going to sit there and let time go by. This is not what you should be doing. He needs to open that guard, start to figure out, do I want to frame inside? There you go, feet on the hips. Get yourself back up. Nice job by Joe.
Keith Berry called this the biggest fight of his life. Very visible fight, main card. Said this is a beatable opponent who's not going to submit me. Berry said, I'm in tremendous shape. I have not cheated one meal. I'm very well prepared. And Josh, not surprisingly, he feels his biggest advantage is he is a full-time MMA fighter.
Yeah, it wasn't just that, but he also feels that he can actually mix the fight up as he's going, and we've seen this in the second round. He told John and I, I'm going to keep it steady. We both looked at each other like, ooh, I don't know if that's a good idea. But the end result, though, is that he's going to mix it up, and look what he's doing now. One takedown this round, 2 takedowns last round. That's keeping Joe on his toes, making sure that his hands stay honest to his chin.
You're seeing Keith starting to switch stances back and forth. That left lead leg is starting to really get damaged by the low kick that Joe Schilling keeps throwing. Nice job of avoiding it there, but Joe has been very accurate with it, and it's starting to get to Keith, and that's why you're seeing him switch to that southpaw stance.
Keith Berry, a professional since 2005, made his pro debut at age 18. Final 35 seconds of round 2. Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, Josh Thompson.
Oh, beautiful.
Stepped right in and delivered.
Nice little right uppercut and straight in with the left hook. That was what I was talking about. Keith Berry kept tipping his head a little bit. I like to see him throw that knee right up the middle. Nice job by Joe Schilling.
Nice little check left hook by Joe Schilling.
Heavy low kick. These are those little Muay Thai tricks.
They thought that was the bell.
Joe's going, this round's about 2 minutes longer than I'm accustomed to.
Now it's over.
Watch this lead. Here's the knee that came up and hit him. That was right after the lead uppercut that did damage to Keith Berry. Look at this lead uppercut. Boom! Right on the chin. Doesn't have a ton of power on it just because of the way it was thrown. But it landed cleanly, and that is a beautiful shot by Joe Schilling.
All right, partner, how about your scorecard after 2 rounds?
Well, I will tell you right now, Keith Berry was winning that second round until he got damaged towards the end of it, and he didn't do damage to Joe Schilling when he was on the ground. That's why I give that round 10-9 to Joe Schilling.
I'm not going to ask you first fight of the night, Josh, if you agree. I'll let you guys fight a little later in the night. I don't want to get you guys angry at each other too early.
Keith Berry's doing a lot better than I thought he would be able to on the feet, but I thought, honestly, it's because he's mixing it up. Now see how he's pressing to the clinch here. This is keeping Joe guessing on what he's going to do.
Right to the mount off of that beautiful outside trip.
And this is a fight that Keith Berry, through social media, asked for. He wanted this fight with Joe Schilling, and he got it. And this is the best opportunity of this fight for Berry to do damage.
This is a huge opportunity. This is what, in this position, you have so much offense that you can bring and so little can be done against you. And it doesn't matter that you lost the first 2 rounds. All you've got to do is get that fight-ending submission or that TKO stoppage right now, and you're the winner.
And Berry is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Just 2 career wins by submission, 11 by knockout.
It's going to be a lot harder for him to secure the submission, though. Now they're both extremely sweaty. Joe holding on, not really giving him a whole lot of space to do work.
Worthy of note that 3 of the 5 professional losses for Joe Schilling have come by submission.
Joe needs to think about working his way systematically through this. You see him trying to get his way out. Nice job.
Nice.
Reverse the position. That's super important in the progression of Joe Schilling as an MMA fighter.
You asked him how his work and his wrestling with Jafari was, and we could see it right there.
And it's the one thing that he talked about is, look, I used to go into gyms and guys were trying to not get beat by the kickboxer, so they were taking me down and doing things and not teaching me. And with Jafari, he was able to learn. He's able to break down the technique, understand it, and then utilize it in his fight.
I had a chance to talk with Joe, obviously, before this fight. He was talking about how he fell in love with the ground and pound, and we're seeing it right now. I think the nerves have settled in. He feels comfortable from the top position. He's able to hit the chopping elbows, and he's cut him up a couple times already with just little short chopping elbows. He feels, you can show and you can see that he feels really comfortable in this position.
That right elbow definitely opened up that left eye of Keith Berry. And this is when you're in this, ground and pound is a technique unto itself.
Yep.
It is not that you go in there and you're on top of someone and you just start landing shots.
Another wicked
It's
elbow.
a matter of picking your shots, opening up an area, pressing, and then letting it go with power. That's what good ground and pound is, and that's what you're starting to see from Joe Schilling.
It's all technique what he's doing right now. So not only is he generating enough power, but he's doing it from such a small position, from only like maybe 2 or 3 inches, and he's generating enough power to cut up Keith Berry this much.
Which, when we talk about, look at space equals escape. Being tight, being close equals control. And what Joe is doing is being tight, but giving enough space so he can put power on the shot.
And he's doing it all inside the full guard of Keith Berry.
And in this position right now, same thing with Keith Berry. He needs to start opening up that guard. You cannot stay here. If you stay here, you're going to get beat up like Joe Schilling is doing to him right now. You cannot submit him with that closed guard. Start putting feet on him, start opening the guard, start going for something.
How this benefits Joe Schilling is that he never has to make enough space for Keith Berry to get up when he can just hit the chopping little elbows. And obviously, he's doing a very good job of that.
He also made a point about training in Albuquerque with Donald Cerrone and the crew out on all that acreage, out on that farm. And he said, finishing my training at high altitude has put my cardio at an extremely high level, and he looks sensational here in the 3rd round.
Yeah, he's looking good as far as he's controlling the pace and position of the fight right now. He wants to be here, and you see him taking his time, thinking about what he's going to do, and then executing.
Josh, more impressive than this ground and pound, though, is the reversal of position that put Joe into this top spot.
Yeah, anytime you're dealing with someone who's long and lanky like that, they have the explosion off their hips because their legs can generate that much power. And he was able to get to kind of a neutral 50-50 position. Berry could have bridged him back over, but he just didn't have the leverage to do it. And you saw right there, Joe was able to get on top, and that's what won him this fight.
Complete MMA performance tonight by Joe Schilling. They go the distance. Wicked elbows.
This is Joe Schilling doing what we call upa to get him off and over, gets into the position, now he's in guard. And there's the elbows that he starts showing from throwing from short distance. Those elbows, nice, heavy, slicing elbows. That's what opens up Keith Berry. A very well-executed ground and pound attack from Joe Schilling.
Always the kickboxer in the wrestling room. What a performance tonight by Joe Schilling. Our official decision is coming up next.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. All 3 judges, David Rathgaber, Michael Bell, Ron McCarthy, all see it the same, 30-26 for the winner by unanimous decision, Joe Stitch 'em Up Schilling.
30-26 on all 3 cards. And here's Big John.
I am here with your winner, Joe Schilling. That was an outstanding performance of MMA from a guy that's known as a world-class kickboxer that has transitioned to saying, I am going to be a mixed martial artist. You fought in the stand-up, you fought in the wrestling, and you fought off of the ground. Let's talk about that win there, brother.
Yeah, you know, I just humbly threw my ego to the side and started working real hard at this. I'm trying to develop as quickly as I can. You know, I feel like that was a really good performance against a seasoned vet. I had some really stupid mistakes. I thought the 10-second thing was the bell, not just once, but first and the second round. It's kind of stupid, and you know, but yeah, it was a good performance. He's a hell of a fighter. He tested me in a lot of ways, and I think I'm gonna grow a lot from this fight.
He took you down multiple times in that fight that you got yourself back to your feet with doing in the past. A huge difference in what we're seeing in your progression as a mixed martial artist.
That means a lot coming from you, John. We had talked about in the back, or in the commentating meeting the other day, and you asked me if I was going to have the same striking that I have in that aggressive style. And all of those takedowns that he got on me was when I was my old way, going forward, throwing care to the wind, and yeah, I made those mistakes. When I started to calm down and actually pick my shots and control my balance, it was a lot better. You know, that's 2 wins in a row. I'm gonna keep growing every time. I hope you guys enjoyed the fight, and you can expect a lot more out of me.
I want to talk about that third round. You were mounted at the beginning of that round, and you were holding on, and then you reversed the position, and every judge that was watching your fight gave you a 10-8 round in that third round based upon the damage that you did to Keith in that round. Let's talk about your ground and pound. How's it feeling?
I mean, I got the name Stitch 'em Up for my elbows and Muay Thai. Then when, I was a world champion kickboxer on the international kickboxing circuit with Glory, and there was no elbows, so everyone kind of forgot about that, and I hadn't stitched anybody up in a while. But that's 2 back-to-back. He's gonna get a lot. And you're gonna see him come in the future.
That was Danny. Welcome to the second win in a row. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Joe Stitch 'em Up.
Joe Schilling side stage. Our tail of the tape. Welterweight fight, 21-3. Former champion Andrei Koreshkov, 7 years younger than Mike Jasper.
7 years younger, 21-3 is an outstanding record with those 3 losses coming against Ben Askren, Doug Lima. 13-4, Mike Jasper has a lot of experience. He is a good fighter. This should be a great fight.
Michael C. Williams.
Live on Paramount Network, Bellator MMA now moves to the welterweight division, set for 3 5-minute rounds. We'll introduce first the blue corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 171 pounds even, making his Bellator debut, he enters with 13 professional victories, 4 defeats, fighting out of Camarillo, California, Mike Jasper. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner. At 6'1", weighing in 170.6 pounds, the former Bellator welterweight world champion stands tonight with 21 professional victories, 3 defeats. Fighting out of Omsk, Russia, presenting Andrei Spartan Koreshkov. In charge of the action, your referee, Frank Trigg.
Frank Trigg, our referee for this welterweight fight, live on Paramount Network. Andrei Koreshkov tied for 3rd all-time with 7 knockouts inside the Bellator cage. Mike Jasper has never been knocked out. This is 18th professional fight. Red gloves for the former champion, Mike Jasper, in the blue gloves, making his Bellator debut.
It'll be very interesting to see how Mike Jasper does with the length of Andrei Koreshkov, because he's not only tall, he fights very tall, and he's got an incredibly fast spinning attack in both his kicks and his spinning back fist.
And Josh, Mike Jasper talked to us about that, how quick those techniques come.
Those spinning attacks will make everyone hesitate. You're already obviously having it in the back of your mind every moment, and you're seeing right now a little bit of hesitation is causing him to be hesitant, which means opening up those leg kicks.
Originally, Koreshkov was to face Lorenz Larkin in the main event. Andrei, when we asked him about it, he said, hey, I have to do my thing. I gotta knock everybody down. I gotta stay right in line. And when the tournament's over, I'll be standing there going, all right, I'm up. Let's fight for the title.
When he said that, I was like, wow, that was brilliant. That was smart. When you think about it, he'll be there, the first guy waiting in line for that title shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has now landed 2 successful spinning back kicks to the body. And you can see that Mike Jasper is looking at him like, I am not able to pick you up. And seeing that attack coming, he figures got a speed.
So
everybody does things a little bit different, and most of the time there is a tell when a guy is going to do a spinning attack, because his foot starts to cross that center line and his hips start to turn. Koreshkov does not do that. He comes straight forward with his steps, so you think that he's actually going to possibly go with a punch, and he spins on an axis of the ball of his foot. It is so fast and it's so powerful. It's a beautiful, beautiful exhibition of those techniques.
Those low kicks doing damage as well. That time Jasper was able to see that one coming.
He came out and moved his feet to get him out of that line, the center line of that kick, and that's why he did not eat it the same way.
Head kick caught. Saxon's Muay Thai, Boss Rutan's Elite MMA, the home of Mike Jasper. Opened his professional career 7-0.
And what you're seeing right now, you're seeing Jasper coming with these techniques, but everything is missing. Everything is just a little bit out of range. He's got to start to move his feet forward and set that up just a little bit quicker so he can get that range closed and land those strikes.
Hashtag Bellator 219 Josh to join the conversation on all social media platforms.
What John was talking about is that Jasper's always missing right outside. That's the sign of a true veteran, someone who really understands the game. Koreshkov is always right outside of your range, so Jasper's never able to land a clean combination.
When you make a miss by just a little bit, you can fire back that much more rapidly and dangerously.
And you're seeing that. Oh, Koreshkov just missed that. Back to his feet with it, but you're starting to see Koreshkov is getting more and more confident with those strikes, and he's looking for those counters.
The old Peter Welch slip and rip. Former Bellator welterweight world champion. And you know, you start to think of it, John, and you said it. 3 career losses, 2 to Douglas Lima, and 1 to Ben Askren.
Yeah, he lost to Ben Askren young in his career.
Yeah.
Back when he did that, because his loss to Ben Askren was so far ago, back in 2013. It is incredible when you watch the guys that he has gone through, and he makes it look easy. He's so calm, he's so technically good at what he does. His wrestling is outstanding, his kickboxing game, I'm telling you, the way he does it with the length that he does it with is just incredible to watch, in my opinion.
And of course, Koreshkov has a win over Lima.
Nice job by Jasper not to be taken with that outside trip, and then he framed off trying to land elbows. Look, he's in this fight. He's just in against a guy that is so good. He's got to figure out his rhythm and his way of getting in to touch Koreshkov.
Jasper aggressive here late in the round.
Watch the attack. Look at that spin. Foot did not switch at all. Boom. Beautiful straight shot to the body, straight with the foot. That's what makes it hard to watch as far as the fighter. You're looking for that tell. It's not there with Koreshkov on those spinning attacks.
What Koreshkov did, though, very well is he went the first one to the body and the second one to the head. He didn't think he was going to go to the body and then mixing it up. He set all of this up, though, also with his low-level leg kicks.
Red gloves for Spartan Andrei Koreshkov, Mike Jasper, making his Bellator debut. Here on the main card, nice body shot in the blue gloves. His last fight, 342 days ago, suffered a gruesome torn a hamstring. In fact, he tore the hamstring muscle completely off his pelvis in a fight previous to that and was out 357 days. But he looks pretty good here tonight.
He looks really good. You think about that, he lost 357 days to heal that up, and he still won that fight, Mike. That tells you a lot about Mike Jasper.
And he showed us some pictures, and it was not pretty. 1 minute into round 2. Josh, if you were in the corner of Jasper, what would you have told him when we were in commercial break?
I'd be telling him to create a couple more angles, start throwing your combinations. Don't try to walk straight in because you're going to run right into one of those spinning back kicks. So I tell him to cut the angles, set up your combinations, maybe even threaten a takedown here and there. I'm not saying you should try and force it, but you should try to threaten it so to make Koreshkov a little bit more hesitant to throw kicks.
Koreshkov is trying to establish that jab, and when he is doing it, Jasper needs to time that jab and counter off of it.
That was a nice leg kick by Jasper there that almost set up a good combination right afterwards.
Jasper said, "My heart is my big thing," and he's showing it here. Taking those low kicks, taking that one off the arm, coming forward though. Trying to put together, Josh, some nice combinations too, like that.
The thing is, we talked about in the first round, he's always a little bit outside of range. He's hitting him or touching Koreshkov now, but he's not landing cleanly yet. So until he starts landing cleanly, but this is what the difference is, right, Big John, between the guys that are at the top and the guys that are just that little bit of step behind.
It is exactly what Josh is talking about. Is he's landing the shot, but it's at the end of that punch, and it's not getting that snap, just that little 2-inch difference that makes it to where it starts to drive through you instead of just touching at the end.
And what potentially could happen is Jasper will end up touching him now, and he may try a little bit harder and leave himself out of range, and Koreshkov can take advantage of that.
Koreshkov always has that right hand ready to rock. And there it is, straight right, so dangerous.
But you can see that Mike Jasper is starting to get the feel of the distance as far as his lean, and he's moving himself closer to Koreshkov with every pass of this time. He's stepping in, he's looking good, he's starting to see things. That's going to be a tell, is what does Andre do to change that up and start to damage him as he gets to that distance.
Well, 9 of his 13 career wins have come by knockout. And Josh, he's done a lot of that changing of levels. He started right at the beginning of the round with it, little body, head, and it's worked a couple of times.
Yeah, he's doing a great job right now. Just continue doing what you're doing. Oh, beautiful. Just right outside of range, but just keep doing what you're doing. I think he's doing well.
That's one of those old mystic.
Yep. Oh, not that one though.
The right hand was big.
He didn't miss it. And that one, Johnny didn't catch at the end of the punch either.
No, and you know, this is the one thing I can tell you about Mike Jasper that I've been in the cage with him multiple times. He got hurt by that. Look how fast he recovers. He has always been that guy, man. He'll get hurt, but in a second and a half, 2 seconds, he's back fighting and fighting hard.
Again, he has never been knocked out. Tonight, his 18th professional fight.
This is where I think the fight becomes a lot easier for Koreshkov. If he would have done this earlier in the fight, I think those spinning kicks would have had a little bit more of a chance to land in the second round.
Koreshkov in the top position, his top game is very heavy, and if the one thing you'll watch, he throws with a huge amount of power. He really rears back, and he creates a space and lands big, big shots in his ground and pound.
All he needs to do is just start pressuring, facing him away, shutting him away a little bit so he can start landing and making space for the big shots. He's reaching around that backside right now to try and grab that far side arm.
Good round 2 for Mike Jasper.
Here's the big right hand hit.
Jasper, right there.
Watch it step over, boom, right there. That's what hurt Mike Jasper. That changed the round right here. The left hand doesn't hit solid, but the right one does, and you see it change his position. That hurt Mike, but you saw Mike come back right away.
You saw Jasper's kind of circling out that way, and he hit him and brought him back into that right hand with that little left hook. Left hook wasn't too hard, but the right hand was clean.
Third and final round. Scorecard, Big John?
Scorecard right now, no doubt in my mind, 10-9 on both rounds, both going to Koreshkov.
So Jasper needs a finish here in the final 4 minutes and 37 seconds.
And Mike Jasper was doing really well in that round. That was a better round. That second round was much better than the first round for him, but he was the guy that got damaged in that round. He took the bigger shots, and that's why Koreshkov gets it.
3-fight win streak, 2 finishes. 2 fights ago was when he tore that hamstring and still was able to finish the fight with 3 seconds on the clock in the third and final round. Off the forearm.
Nice Dutch block by Mike Jasper there. You see him bringing that arm not only up, but his other hand over to take the power off of that kick from Koreshkov.
Still to come, our main event, our co-main event, of course, the emotional return of Daniel Strauss, former 2-time champion, against the proud Marine Shane Crutchin. And then our main event of the evening, Syed Awad and Brandon Girtz, right here live on Paramount Network from Pechanga Resort Casino.
Seeing right there what you saw in that grappling position. You saw Jasper bringing him into the cage and starting to utilize his head for positioning but he allowed Koreshkov to bring his head off the other side. He ends up having his head low, Koreshkov's head high with the underhook, and that's why he gets the position.
Yeah, I was actually more concerned with the fact that as soon as he got to the body lock, he drove him to the fence and gave Koreshkov time to reset. Yeah. What you should have done was try to hit the trip from there, at least try to break the balance, and then maybe get him to the fence from that position and try to pull him away and then take him down. He let Koreshkov get a second to establish his base and defend the body block.
Koreshkov has his hands locked, nice S grip, but he doesn't seem to be able to get his hips in. There you go. Once he gets his hips into him, he's going to end up going down.
Jasper had that wide base, but it didn't matter.
Well, once he had, it doesn't matter how wide your base is. If that fighter gets his hands together, you get your hands clasped, cable grip, S grip, whatever it's going to be. Now I have the ability, as long as I can get my hips into you, I can get you up and bring you down.
Just past the midway point of the third and final round of this welterweight fight. Bellator debut for 35-year-old Mike Jasper. Taking on the former champion, Andrei Koreshkov, held the belt for 482 days. Defended his title once, that was against Benson Henderson. Jasper able to get back up. It's not free yet, but he's up, and now he's back down.
It was a nice job by Mike Jasper to get to his feet, but once Koreshkov, again, has those hands locked, he's got the ability, once he gets his hips to you, he's gonna end up bringing you down. Koreshkov started off as mainly a kickboxer, but his wrestling has become very, very solid. And you look at, from Russia, Josh will tell you, what are the Russian wrestlers like? Their technique is just incredible, and he has learned that technique, and he applies it in this cage all the time.
So worked some of his MMA wrestling, too, with Kenny Johnson, who I know you respect, Josh.
But what I've said before, though, is that, look, I think every fighter, every top fighter in an organization needs to have a nemesis. Okay, I had Gilbert Melendez, and I'm saying with him, he's got Douglas Lima. Yep. And what Lima brings to the table is those nasty leg kicks. He had to work on his wrestling, had to get his wrestling down. He had to be able to mix it up against someone like that. It's because you have that nemesis that is always making you better.
True.
Koreshkov said losses are your best teachers. He said the most important lesson I took away from the Lima fight, be confident, believe in myself.
Yeah, you could tell in that fight that he wasn't as confident as he should have been. He was confident getting the takedown, but he wasn't confident in his stand-up. He thought the leg kicks were going to play a factor, so he was forcing the takedown like he is doing now. And it ended up costing him because he gassed out in the fight, ended up losing the fight. But like I said, the two of them make each other better. We've seen a better Koreshkov because of that.
3:04 the fifth is when Lima submitted him. Koreshkov going to his wrestling, going to his ground game here in this third round. And a dominant round for the Spartan. Who will earn Bellator win number 13.
Good job, gentlemen. Good work.
Jasper's a gamer as they go the distance.
Look at the pressure that Koreshkov applies. Once he gets his hands together, hips come in, picks him up, just brings him bouncing off the fence, brings him down to the ground. He used a lot of different techniques to get Jasper to the ground, but all of them went off of the point of him getting his hands clasped together. Once it's there, very hard to break, very easy for him to bring him to the ground.
The official decision of this welterweight fight coming up next. Largest casino in California, Pechanga Resort Casino. This welterweight fight goes the distance with the official decision. Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Ron McCarthy, Michael Bell, Jackie Dinkin. All three scored the same 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Andrei Spartan Koreshkov.
13th career win inside the Bellator cage for the former champion. Congratulations goes to the Spartan. Our tale of the tape for this, our co-main event of the evening. 34-year-old Daniel Strauss against 33-year-old 6'1" Shane Crutchin.
24-8 with a lot of those fights being title fights, championship fights. Take a look at Crutchin, 6'1". He is a long, rangy fighter, and Daniel's got to move his feet to get in on him.
With the official introductions once again, Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA now presents tonight's co-main event, 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. And now, live on Paramount Network, we introduce the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 155.8 pounds. His professional record, 12 wins, 4 losses. By way of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, he fights out of San Diego, California, Shane, the War Rhino Crichton. And across the cage, his adversary fights out of the red corner. At 5'7", weighing in 155.6 pounds, the two-time former featherweight world champion tonight makes his much-anticipated return to the Bellator cage as a professional. He brings 24 victories, 8 defeats from Cincinnati, Ohio. He fights out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Introducing Daniel Strauss. In charge of the action, your referee, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran, our referee for this, our co-main event of the evening. Shane Crutchin, the War Rhino. Daniel Strauss.
All right, gentlemen, first round. You ready to fight?
Cincinnati, Ohio native. Here we go. Red gloves for Strauss, blue gloves for Shane Crutchin.
So a couple things I want to remind you guys is that not just is he back, but is he the same fighter? Now he's saying he's not full percentage back, but the thing is, he was talking about how he's had to change and adapt to some of the things that his body couldn't do that he was doing before. So how is his footwork? How is his mobility? How is his strength in certain areas? These are all questions that need to be answered, and that's why I'm trying to lay this out now for everyone watching at home. You guys need to understand, he may not be the same fighter he was then, but how has he made the adjustments to it?
I think you're absolutely right, Josh. He's not going to be the same fighter. You can't expect that. But one thing you do know, with the start of that fight, that's another goal checked off the list.
Southpaw Strauss. He's in the red gloves, as I mentioned. Crutchin is in the blue gloves. And the kick. And Daniel did discuss with us guys in fighter interviews that, yeah, he's got to move a little differently. His footwork is not the same. And it's, I don't know if it's limitations from the accident. It's just different. It's just different than it was before. Does not, though, mean that it cannot be effective. He did, though, move to Las Vegas. This is worthy of note. Back in October, 6 months ago, been working with Dewey Cooper and training out of One Kicks Gym, One Kick It.
The other thing that I want to make sure that we're pointing out here is that he's the two-time world champion at 145. This fight's at 155. That's something we have to make sure that we're making very clear. He came back not only really fast, but he's coming back in a higher weight class. Now, I'm not saying his earlier part of his career was at 155, so he's used to dealing with that. But this is another thing that he's added on to show that he can actually excel in this weight class as well.
You made it very clear that 45 is his real home though.
Nice move, straight over the top, into the half guard still. But Daniel Strauss has lived off of his wrestling, and he lives off of a very strong ground and pound. And you saw when he was up against the fence, Josh, very relaxed, very calm, and then decided, boom, here comes my sweep, brings the sweep, brings his opponent down. I have to give him credit. I love the fact that he's not pushing anything right now. He is taking his time, he's letting the fight come to him, and he's not overextending in any fashion.
He's doing a great job letting the fight develop in front of him. He's not trying to overextend things like you just said. But what I really like is that he's using the wrestling as well. Those are things in a mental barrier that just getting through, like, hey, can my neck hold up on a double leg? Can I lift you, turn the corner? Can I do those things? Those are things all going through his mind right now.
High school national wrestling champion. Sycamore High School, suburban Cincinnati, Ohio. Under 2 minutes on the clock here in round number 1. 6 weeks in Arizona for Shane Crutchton. After his fight against Aaron Pico, he was in the same locker room as Henry Corrales, Eddie Cha, John Crouch. Jason Herzog was hanging out with him. They said, you know what? Come home. Come to Glendale. And he has been there, and he said, I am a total. And he just got rocked. Big shot from Strauss. Looking for the finish right here, right now. Can he get it?
He's got that arm deep. He's trying to get that leg over the top so he gets that hook. With that arm being deep right now, Crutchton needs to be very careful. He's in trouble with that jaw.
Hit his jaw liver! Just like that! Daniel Strauss!
Watch the left hand land right here. Boom! Landed straight on the jawline of Shane Crutchton. You can see how hurt he is by the way he falls. Notice the arm going back. Nothing catches until he hits the ground. And here's your finish. It is not what we would say is a rear naked choke. That choke is across the jawline, but that jaw is getting squeezed back into that skull, and it will break.
What I liked on that straight left is actually he shuffled back a little bit. His reactions are still there.
Yep.
Despite he having to learn how to re-walk again, it was great. Slid back, boom, straight left, dropped him, jumped right on him, hit him with some great ground and pound, made him turn his back, got right to the jaw lock.
Daniel Strauss returns. And he earns the victory, his 12th win inside the Bellator cage. We will visit with him when we come back. Never such a well-deserved victory, never so emotional. Michael C. Williams, then Big John will visit with our victor.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the tap by way of a rear naked choke, officially 3 minutes, 53 seconds into round number 1. The winner by submission, Daniel Strauss.
Cincinnati in the house, Big John with Daniel Strauss. And
come on, we need some
daughter,
prettiness in here, so you got to come over.
Michaela. That's Michaela.
I am here with the winner, Daniel Strauss. Daniel, that's just another goal off the list, isn't it?
Yes, sir. We've been working real hard for this for a while. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to other people that's here.
It's all right. We were so impressed because coming off of the injury and all the time, it's natural to try to make something happen, and you took your time, you let the fight come to you, you let it build until you saw that opening, you took a step back, beautiful straight left hand that gave you the opportunity to put him to the mat, and then let's talk about that jaw crank.
Yeah, I just wanted to get him up out of there, man, as soon as possible. I ain't trying to be in here that long, so caught him with the straight left. He went down, I was trying to get him out with some ground and pound. He gave me his back, and I just took what I could.
Well, I think a little bit of that strength has come back since that accident because there was a good squeeze and you made him tap. What is it that you're looking for next in your career?
I'm just looking to build, keep building, get back to that belt, and hold that title and defend that title.
Well, I cannot wait for you to get back to your weight class, 145, and see you go after that title and get it back for a third time. I think everybody in here would love to see the same thing. Congratulations on an outstanding performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Daniel Strauss.
Little Michaela in tears, Dad is in tears, and that will be the best bottle of La Chemin Noir of Daniel Strauss's life. Wow, what a moment. Dewey Cooper and the gang. And Daniel Strauss, he should be emotional. We're all here watching and witnessing an incredible story. And it's that young lady who kept Dad going during all the hard times, and he told us that. His daughter, Michaela. evening. I will tell you one thing, not everything is virtually identical, but I got to get one in, partner. The age is virtually identical.
Very sharp you there, Mike. 5'11" to 5'7", you're looking at 74-inch reach to 69. If Awad can keep him on the outside, Girtz is going to have a problem.
And Syed Awad said my size and range will give him trouble. With the official introductions, once again, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bellator MMA tonight live on Paramount Network from Pechanga Resort and Casino. The time has come for the main event. 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. And now, first, introducing the blue corner. At 5'7", weighing in 155.6 pounds, his professional record, 15 wins, 8 defeats by way of Minneapolis. He fights out of Denver, Colorado, Brandon Girtz. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner, at 5'11", weighing in 156 pounds, even as a professional. 23 victories, 10 defeats, fighting out of San Bernardino, California, presenting Syed the Assassin Awad. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, Jason Herzog.
Fighters gone over the rules in the back. There were no final questions from you, blue. There were no final questions from you, red. If you want to touch gloves, come out ready to fight.
Jason Herzog, our referee. This our main event of the evening. The Assassin, Syed Awad. Brandon Girtz. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Let's roll, fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Fight!
Here we go! Girtz in the blue gloves. He is a southpaw. Syed Awad in the red gloves in his customary orthodox stance.
There you see Brandon coming in like he likes to do, closing distance, but that's a lot of distance to cover, and you saw both of those shots ended up short.
That was a big reason why I said that Girtz needed to create angles, because you saw Syed throw that little up kick right up the middle. He needs to get offline and get to the body lock from there, or the snatch single from there.
10th career fight at 155 for Brandon Girtz tonight. Big swing. He rocked him. Could he finish it right here, right now? Wow! You said 5 of the last 6 wins for Brandon Girtz have come by first-round finish.
Nice job of basing out by Girtz, holding the position. He hurt him bad. And that was that right hook that we were talking about. And he had that shoulder surgery. He said it took me a long time to get back to where I was throwing my hook the way I like to throw it.
Yeah, but not only that, though, Syed made a bad mistake by sitting against the fence trying to cover up. He should have tried to circle out.
Syed's back up.
He's still a little bit wobbly, though. It's not in a position where he should be looking to go after Girtz. He needs to get time, get space, create some distance for time.
And now it's Syed Awad stepping in, Josh.
He believes in his condition, his cardio. His recovery's already there. You can see he's already ready to start pushing the pace.
Man, they're swinging for the finish early.
This is the fight that we expected, though, Josh. We talked about it. We said, well, no matter what, it's going to be a barn burner. And that's what you get when you have a Brandon Girtz fight. He goes to fight. He tries to cover distance. He can have a shorter reach. It doesn't matter. He's going to go after you.
It's that Mike Tyson game plan. Everything goes out the door once you get hit.
Syed Awad said stylistically he loves the matchup. Girtz said we've always respected each other. Syed likes to fight, so do I. That is a recipe for fireworks. So far, that is a very true statement. Cut on the right side of the face, on the eyebrow of Syed Awad.
You take that many shots that fast, if your skin holds up the way at least his has, you're doing good.
They both have decided to settle in a little bit, let the fight develop in front of them. They wasted a lot, not wasted, I said he expended a lot of energy those first 3 minutes.
Girtz training in Denver. So high altitude, so both men very confident in their cardio. Nice right hand connects for Syed Awad. Stepped into that hook.
Notice how Syed, he switched his stance. That kind of made Girtz hesitate a little bit. I used to do that all the time just to kind of reset myself. I would switch my stance a bit and make your opponent hesitate, which gives you a moment to catch your breath.
Right there, what you just saw, that footwork by Syed, the way he moved in, stepped across, threw his shots, and made it so there was never going to be a counter for Brandon Girtz. That's what he needs to do in this fight.
Don't get pulled in like I used to.
That's exactly.
Do my damage, get out of harm's way, work back in, punch, punch, kick, kick, and get out of range again. And he does have the reach advantage as we talked about.
That up kick the middle, that's what's keeping Girtz hesitant to shoot on a double leg or get to a body lock. That's why I was saying he needs to create angles with his punches, get offline so he can get some sort of leg, body lock or grab the single leg.
Well, that up kick, that is the way that Syed, that's his range finder. He likes to toss that out there, see your reaction, and if your reaction is just to take a step back, he usually is going to follow that up with a straight right.
Pechanga Resort Casino, Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, Josh Thompson. Our main event of the evening, this is round number 1. Syed Awad in the red gloves, Brandon Girtz in the blue gloves.
Benson Henderson had a lot of success with that kick. So Girtz needs to get on those kicks a little bit to kind of keep Syed guessing.
What a start to this fight. Conditioning was the key to surviving that early onslaught from Brandon Girtz.
Good job, baby. Breathe. Right here. Breathe. Slow your heart rate. Yeah, slow your heart rate. Breathe right now. Slow your heart rate.
Here's Girtz landing that right hand,
That's his only opportunity.
and it was that big right hand over the top. Look, this is a southpaw, so that right hand that's the shoulder that he had gotten hurt before, and he had to get back. But here's Awad coming back, and then Girtz coming back after him. These guys are going for it. Watch the knee here. Awad coming up. Girtz brings his guard up, but you cannot sit there with just a guard. You got to move your head. That's why that knee comes up and it blasted.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Go get it, okay?
23 wins, 17 finishes for Syed Awad. 15 wins, 11 finishes for Brandon Girtz. Round 2. The southpaw in the blue gloves, that's Girtz. Awad takes another overhand right.
Well, one of the things you're seeing is when Brandon comes forward, watch as he throws that left hand, you're seeing Awad take his head and he's actually turning it towards his right, which is taking his eyes off of Brandon Girtz's right hand when he throws that big looping overhand right.
Well, he's backing away with his hands down, and Girtz is able to cover that distance, which we didn't think he was going to be able to. But I'd like to see him try to snatch that leg and get the takedown. Slow the pace down a little bit. He's landing the big shots, but we got to see him mix it up. That'll help open up more stand-up for him.
Don't forget, download the Bellator app or sign up for the Zone. We are set for bonus coverage. The fight action continues live from Pechanga Casino Resort. Play on another level.
Syed has a really wide stance. I'd like to see Girtz kick that inside leg, kind of throw him off base a little bit. I saw it a little bit with Benson Henderson. He was doing that as well. The kicks, I think, are going to play a factor. If he doesn't use them, he's going to be relying on his hands. It gives one less thing for Syed to worry about.
You're right. One of the things that's a blueprint against Syed is he does have a wide stance, so try to attack that lead leg, which most guys are doing. But right now, you're not seeing Brandon doing any kicks to it. More off balance than anything. Good shot by Brandon Girtz, but he's really not that hurt, Josh.
That was a nice little takedown, though, by Syed to slow the pace down for a second. Threw Girtz off his guard.
Tried with that lead elbow and just missed.
This is exactly where I don't want to see Girtz, just standing in front of him in range, ready to get hit. This is not the fight that he wants.
2 minutes into round number 2. 11th time we have been here at the Pechanga Resort Casino, dating back to Bellator 92, March 7, 2013. Oh, again with a big shot. And it's the right.
Every time Girtz just sits there and covers up, he gets hit with the shot, whether it's the knee up the middle or that little uppercut he just hit him with right now. There's no reason to take that damage.
What we need to see out of Brandon is exactly what he's doing at times, and use your feet to move yourself out of that center line. Beautiful work.
John, is this not getting pulled in like I used to?
You know what? Syed, he's on the attack right now. And Brandon, right now you've got Syed actually pushing the pace, and I think it's starting to break down what Girtz is able to do as far as he's got to deal with this pace and the pressure. That takes energy to deal with.
What you have to remember is he's having to lunge in and cover that distance. And that's expending a lot of energy. Not to mention, Girtz always throws explosive power. So it's straight lefts, overhand rights, big kicks, but he throws it in 1s and 2s, sometimes the occasional 3. That expends a ton of energy, and you're seeing it right now. It's having a little bit of an effect on him as this fight's going on.
34th professional fight for the assassin, Syed Awad, worthy of note. He only has recorded 2 finishes after the first round. Also worthy of note is the gym change to the training lab in the Ironman. Sam Calavita took him 15 years to qualify for Kona.
There's that kick. I'm telling you, that kick will have an effect. That'll keep Syed's hands at bay. They will not leave his chin if he's worried about that body kick.
But it's exactly what you're saying. Brandon needs to step to his right to land that kick with power to keep himself off of that center line.
Exactly, John. Otherwise, it opens up Syed open for long-range punch for Girtz to get hit with the long-range punches.
Justin Gaethje, Carrington Banks, Drew Dober, the main training partners of Brandon Girtz.
Brandon Girtz just throws everything he has. When he goes to throw, it is nothing is light.
But that body kick is having a little bit of effect. It's making Syed be hesitant to throw because he doesn't want to get hit with that big shot. Or that big
just missed the first time, Josh. Clipped him the second.
He's just grazing him, but he's gaining ground every time. He's catching him a little bit more.
Big knee.
That was a big knee right there.
Final seconds of round 2.
And the problem for Brandon, he's going backwards a lot with that power being taken away.
What a fight!
My MCL.
Hey, it don't matter. We're in our last round. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
We're in both?
Yes, we did. I don't want you floating this round. If you hurt that knee, get his ass on his back. You understand? That's your goal this round. If that's the problem, get his ass on his back. Those rounds are yours. Now, you go out there and you finish this last round.
Here's the right hand that hits. That's a nice shot. You see Awad just walking right back through it.
There
was a lot of big shots here.
You understand?
Nice kick to the body by Girtz.
Go get it. It is time to put him on.
Here's the knee by Awad. Blocked mostly by Girtz. Tries to bring that right hand over the top. A lot of back and forth battle.
Good. Let's go, Papa. Last 5 minutes. Train hard for this, bro. Last 5 minutes.
Syed Awad, Brandon Girtz, 3rd and final round. 6th fight here at Pechanga for Syed Awad. He's 4-1 here with 2 knockouts. Big John, your scorecard.
Right now, I have the fight even. I thought it was a very close second round, but a lot of the shots that Brandon was hitting him with, even though he turned at times, he was the one that was landing the better, heavier shots and controlling that location of the fight, making it happen. I would love to see Brandon Girtz in this round try to take Syed down and utilize that wrestling that he has.
Okay, Josh, I saw you take your headset off when you saw John's scorecard. Your turn, my friend.
I've been waiting all night to disagree with this guy. I gotta tell you, I had Girtz winning. He landed the cleaner, more powerful shots. Not only that, but he did the more damage. Even though Girtz was sometimes off balance, having to back away, but I had him winning the round. So I have it 2 rounds, Girtz.
All right. 1-1 for Big John, 2-0 for Josh Thompson. 4 minutes remain in our main event, and what a main event it has been. Girtz looks tremendous after that long layoff. 350 days.
Syed's taking some big shots in this fight. He's still got a lot of pep in his step. That just goes to show how confident he is in his conditioning.
Once again, don't forget bonus coverage. Bellator app, DAZN. We got a ton of great fights.
If Awad is looking, and you're always looking for little tells in the fight, every time Brandon comes forward and throws that left, his head is dipping off towards his right. And you can sit there and set that up and take advantage of that type of tell.
It's so hard, though, because Girtz is so explosive and so fast.
Good. Watch back there. Let's go. You ducked into it. You ducked into it. You good? Let's go.
You're going to talk about that's not the back of the head. When you have 2 fighters facing each other and one ducks his head, you're creating that. That is exactly right by Jason Herzog. Nice straight shot to the body. Nice straight shot up top.
But what he should have done there is drop down on the leg, knowing that he was coming in hard. This is where I don't want to see Girtz at all. This is what happened with him in the Campos fight. He covered up and took the knee right up the middle and ended up with that big cut. Those kicks and that straight body work is doing wonders for him. Nice shot.
Those are huge shots.
Those are big shots.
Looking for the finish.
Brandon's using a lot of
Jason Herzog.
He's holding the shorts over here.
Jason Herzog right on top of the action. Big ground and pound by Brandon Girtz.
We're seeing the same thing out of Syed Awad as we saw in the Benson Henderson fight. He's feeling something he doesn't like, and so he's talking to the referee. Don't talk to the referee. Get yourself out of the situation.
Yeah, he should be trying to get to his feet, or like I like what he's doing right now with the wrist control. He had wrist control, so Girtz had to stop punching him.
Either way, though, if it's 1-1, and this is round 3, this is huge for Brandon. Even bigger on your scorecard, Josh.
Yeah, what Girtz is doing right now is he did also a very good job against Melvin Gillard, is that every time he got the takedown or the fight went to the ground, he circles behind really well, is able to do a lot of good damage from that position.
Awad, wobbly, but far from finished.
Awad is not happy with what went on there. He was feeling something, and now he's going to go straight after Brandon. Brandon needs to be smart. Don't duck your head. Look.
What a fight.
Girtz expended a lot of energy after that, trying to finish him when he went to the ground. Now there's a minute left, which is plenty of time for Syed to get the finish.
Well, that's exactly what he's looking for.
Good job by Brandon to utilize that footwork, get himself out away from him.
Big swing and a miss.
And if you're Brandon Girtz,
he got caught again.
If you're Brandon Girtz, you have this fight. Use your footwork. Keep distance. Only attack at certain times. Do not let him close.
Just took a look up at the clock, Girtz did.
35 seconds.
What a fight, man. What a fight. They're both taking looks up at the clock. Doesn't matter how good a shape you are. You can punch yourself out.
The amount of energy both have put out is incredible.
20 seconds. 15. Connects by Syed.
Don't stand in front of him.
Girtz is in trouble.
Girtz should move. He's just tough. He is just a
They go the distance. What a main event here tonight. Live on Paramount Network. How good was that?
Watch this straight shot. Boom. Beautiful. What we call the breadbasket right down the line. And if you don't think that hurts, you have no idea. Big shots by Awad trying to land that right hand. Girtz coming back, takes a little shot. There is no quit in either guy. Here's right at the end of the fight. Both are exhausted. Both of them have arms that feel like they're 200 pounds apiece, but they're still going after each other, throwing everything they have. Brandon Girtz is a maniac.
The judge's decision is in. Here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 non-stop rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards. At cage side, Judge Ron McCarthy scores it 29-28. Michael Bell, 30-27. And Judge Jackie Dinkin, 29-28. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Brandon Girtz.
Brandon Girtz by unanimous decision. He will visit with Big John.
I'm here with your winner, Brandon Girtz. I will tell you, at the end of that fight, I didn't want anyone to lose because both of you guys put so much out in that fight. Let's get your dog. What was it like coming off of that big layoff you had with the shoulder injury, coming back in here and putting on a performance like that tonight?
Those were some hard times, you know, everything I went through to get back in here. And I came to fight a fucking warrior. You guys all saw that. I mean, I swear he was out twice, and he just came back from it. He's a fucking warrior. I knew I was getting my hands full here, but these are the types of fights they put me in because they know I'm gonna come and I'm gonna bang it out with somebody like Assad.
In the last part of that fight, 3rd round, you were exhausted from going after him, trying to finish him. He was exhausted, but coming after you, what was going through your mind?
This guy's an animal. I mean, I hit him with some of my best shots, and he just kept coming. And hats off to him. I mean, I just had to stay composed. I knew he was coming up the middle with some stuff, and I just had to fight through it.
Well, fight through it you did. That was an unbelievable performance. Great win. Congratulations and welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Brandon Girtz.